You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
They're eating fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
Your Twitter account, for the record, it was well beyond Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes, I'm sure.
Your Twitter account has several disparaging comments about
Welcome to. I'm sorry. Should there have been an opening prayer?
Amber was just about to say something so cool,
like super
and
cool.
And I just interrupted it. Okay, well, did you want to say it?
Like,
No.
her
Good.
face lit up, and she was like, "Oh, I've been waiting for years to tell these guys
Well,
this."
we've been sitting here for like a half hour
It's
waiting
so
to start
true.
recording.
Okay, go. Introduce.
What's wrong? Trent's not coming?
Phil, you're my best friend today, and I hate Jake.
Good.
Okay,
Why? Because I didn't quite trip over your booby trap on
I
the way
don't know
in.
what's happening.
Oh, okay.
Listen,
You set a booby trap for Jake?
guys, I'm trying to do a podcast. Welcome to the American Fork Podcast. This is a podcast where we record things and then we put it on the interwebs and then you listen to it and then is that it?
That's fairly accurate.
That's good?
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Phil looks
Well-
perplexed.
Phil does not like this intro. Well, American
Welcome
Fork.
to the most ambiguous, bland thing.
Well, let me try this then. American Forked is a podcast of lifetime friends who, despite growing up, have different beliefs, and we're still friends.
Oh, there you go.
And
I made that one.
did
Probably.
you?
I don't know.
Probably. It sounded really good.
Yeah.
So with me is one of my
AI
friends.
probably wrote it.
Phil is my friend.
Yep.
Jake is my friend.
Oh, I am your friend now.
Yeah, I changed my mind. And Amber is my friend.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
So good.
Really good.
Well, we're gonna play a game, Phil.
Oh,
This is a game that I think you and Jake might lose,
okay.
but we're gonna do it. I'm guessing
How many times have you drank in
Not
the last year?
this is not a drinking
We
game.
lost.
Phil,
Are you calling us alcoholics?
here's my game. We're gonna go. Given the recent political sphere,
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of politics to talk about,
Uh-huh.
and I know that you're already holding yourself back very well, self-discipline, all that stuff. You haven't mentioned it yet.
No, I was actually really curious to see how you weren't going to talk about
So
politics.
this is the game.
Okay.
We're gonna go through all the news,
Uh-huh.
which totals zero politics,
Uh-huh.
and then the main subject's gonna be politics.
Oh, okay.
But can you hold off for that long?
I think so.
Can you deal with that much podcast foreplay?
Yeah.
Oh,
We're gonna see how long we can go without
gonna
saying
get
Trump,
build up.
RFK.
Oh,
Biden,
you already did it.
Come on.
I won.
Harris, Republican.
Oh, so many times.
Put a dollar in the
just left.
jar.
Phil just won.
Okay, that's the game starting now.
Okay.
All right.
Ready.
Trump.
So, Jake, you're the worst. As always, we start with the news from where? Our dear old town of
American
American
Fork.
Fork.
Old AFI.
Did I just lose because I said American?
No, you're okay.
Ooh, close one.
Yeah.
Close.
Due to never mind, shut up. Okay, well this story I found is called "Now That Halloween Is Over, Murder Is in the Air."
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Jake sounds like he knows about this.
I wonder what American
might-
Fork's like murder
'Kay,
streak is.
I swear the
Like-
whole
Murder
time
capital of
Yeah,
the
like,
state
what's
right
the-
now.
I swear the whole time we grew up in American Fork, there were like 2 murders.
Yeah,
in the 80s.
Well, and that's post like
and there were accidental murders.
I think
Yeah.
the Lafferty murders.
That's
were
the one
like
I was
before
referring
us,
to,
yeah.
were the Lafferty murders.
Or were we alive during that?
I think we
No,
were.
that was the 80s.
I think we
Okay.
were just little.
Oh, well, I
kids.
guess we were born in the 80s.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Like
maybe
we
it
could
was,
have been. We could
it was
have been
right
wee
before
babes.
us though.
well this one in particular it's a little funky. There's 2 ladies who
Mhm.
have been arrested for conspiracy of murder,
Oh.
who have arranged the murder of a man in California.
Oh, so he didn't get murdered.
No, he got the murd,
Oh,
full murd.
he got it. And they suspect that these 2 women
He
set
got
it up.
murderized.
Set it
He got
up.
totally murderized.
They got murd and then they got erd.
And they're American Forkians.
Well, I'm guessing they're from California, but they happen to be in American Fork right now
Oh, they got arrested there maybe?
because I'm not claiming them.
Oh.
I don't think they're one of us.
Oh.
So, I probably could have read the whole story to tell you,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
Shocking.
Oh, it's another headline story.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
In the first line.
good headline.
But it is basically that they set up to have someone killed. It was I think it was one of the ladies' like ex-husbands or something like that, or some sort of relationship with this guy. And yeah,
I
they
think
set up.
someone shot him.
Yeah, someone in California shot him, but was set up by these ladies.
They hired him.
Fork.
Or something.
Oh, okay. So interesting.
How does that happen? Like, if I wanted theoretically to murder someone, who do I talk to?
Well,
how do you get on the like murder for hire
Facebook page?
You have to be invited in. So.
Or is it really not like? Is it really so obvious that like everyone that tries it gets caught because it's so ridiculous?
Probably.
It's like Facebook IM. Hey, what's up? Want to kill night, yo?
You do
Good
just
keywords,
stand outside of Walmart and just talk to people coming in. Do you know a hitman?
Or
Is it that
hold a
easy?
sign, murder, question mark?
Murder for hire?
Yeah. Murder, dollar signs.
Or there's like a code name, live for hire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if a cop asks you if murder $ is asking for murder, you say, no, it's my rap name.
Yeah, it's my stage name.
Yeah.
Murder money.
Yeah.
I bet it's maybe the dark web.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
people find stuff on there.
And what is that?
Maybe that's
That
what
is. Go. Go. Nope.
you started the thought, and I was adding.
Well, because things have been traced to people that use the dark web to purchase
Drugs, right?
drugs,
People.
yeah, things like
And
that,
people.
yeah, and people, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be my guess, maybe.
And
is-
people parts.
and the people parts, yes.
Yeah, but I just don't understand that either. Like if a person can get on the dark web, can't a police detective?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was watching a true crime thing, and that is how one lady got caught. She bought MRSA to inject her roommate with, and they found this order for it on the dark web, and then found her through it.
Yeah,
So,
it seems
That's
just,
what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what
it's
I was saying.
just
Like
as
it just
dumb
seems.
as doing it on
Yes,
Facebook. I
agreed.
feel like
Agreed.
it's like I'm on the dark web. Nobody can see it.
Maybe that's what all the people that do stand outside the intersection of Walmart with a sign that says like disabled veteran.
They're really
Can't
help my kids.
executioners.
Disabled
They're
veteran.
looking
I
for
have
hitmen.
experience.
And if a hitman comes out of Walmart, they know that sign
That's
handwritten on cardboard
puppies?
is someone looking
Yeah.
for willing to pay $1,000.
What do you think, Jeff? Was that good enough banter for your
I like
Yeah,
that.
we tried to
scarce
keep it
Did you
story?
did you read the article?
Yeah.
While
I
we
was
were
actually
talking?
reading while you guys were talking. Yes.
We saved you on that one.
I found no good information. So no, I feel like I talk too much. I like listening to you
Oh
guys too.
no!
I like it.
So
I wish
so-
I felt that way.
So two
About
American
me
Fork
talking.
women hired a hitman to kill someone in California.
Yeah, I don't know. Just read the story.
Okay. We'll talk about it next time.
Google it.
Google
I feel
it.
like the person that killed the individual that they knew the person who murdered them. So maybe it was like more of a personal thing, like, you know.
yeah,
Why didn't
Revenge.
you just ask Amber?
The brother-in-law hated the dude.
I normally read the articles
Yeah,
before, but
see?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Wait, you read them?
I did-
You read them because they post them on the
yeah.
Yes.
thing?
I read it before so
Oh.
that because if I don't, then I'm usually like the
Look,
girl. Like
She looks like me right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you
nice.
really should have just been like,
Well-
what do you think, Amber?
So
Well,
here's
but
some. Oh, sorry. I was
I
going to say
only
I did
briefly
get
read it.
some data.
Yeah. Okay. Go.
Okay, cool.
Go, Jeff.
Some of it's just really stupid. So the girl, it sounds like they set it up to convince him to come from California to Utah, and then one of them shot him and claimed that he attacked her, but they realized they planted a knife on him to look like he came to attack, but really she just shot him.
That's right. I did read the article, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah. So
It's like he had an unsheathed
familiar.
knife tucked into the front of his pants.
yeah,
Like-
it was they just realized
Unsheathed.
he wasn't even holding that
Yeah.
basically. But this is how dumb people are. On this lady's Facebook account, the day that it was supposed to happen, she wrote, "I have to do big girl things this morning. Wish me luck."
That's what big girls do.
What?
It's murder
for
people.
hire. Yeah,
Put
that's
on
like
my big
you-
girl pants,
you grow up, you go to school,
and then you murder people.
you you might get married or go to college, whatever, and then you murder for hire. That's like the next step in the progress to
My
adulthood.
5-year life plan.
Yeah,
See,
it says,
I go back to I feel like the prosecutor, the journalist, whoever pulled that line out, that is nothing.
What
I have to
line?
do big girl things.
no.
That's like not incriminating, not anything to murder,
True.
right?
It's quite a
Okay, we had
reach.
this discussion
Yeah.
about baby oil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you're
the
right.
Same thing.
It is nothing. But
Wait,
then when
P.
she
Diddy's
murders
video?
someone later, you're kind
Yeah.
of like, oh, that's what she was
but it
talking
still
about.
could have also been not related at all.
She wasn't going to get tampons.
Like, let's pretend like you go to Diddy's house and you're like, wow, there's a lot of baby oil. Gee, I wonder what it's for. Not incriminating, right?
Connect the
Yeah.
dots. You got to
Then
connect
all
the
of a
dots.
sudden, it's like P. Diddy convicted of rape. You're like, oh,
But it-
baby oil.
Mm.
No, I still wouldn't.
Costco order.
I would still be like, P. Diddy does like music videos
Shut up,
with
Phil.
girls
I
dancing,
know.
and he pours
Yeah,
baby
shut up.
oil on them.
He hasn't
all
had a
the
music
time.
video since 1987. So listen to
his
me.
thing.
The same
baby
thing.
oil.
It's
The
his thing.
same thing. And I hate
I
you
bet
now,
he does.
Phil.
He doesn't do them, but like Justin Bieber does them for him. All those people that
Okay,
he
but
like
then
produces.
we hashed this away. Okay, now the same thing.
He babysits.
I got to go do
babies
big girl
a lot.
things today, and then and someone looks at that and go, "Wow, that's not incriminating. That's just a statement."
Maybe
and then
if
she
after-
gets convicted for murder same day and goes, "Oh, that was the big girl thing."
Maybe if there was like a skull cross symbol right after that.
No, that could have just meant she was constipated. She's
going
got to do big girl things.
It'd be like what's a famous murder that happened recently? Like that
Recently?
woman.
well,
that,
this one.
that guy that like burned his kids in the house.
Wow.
Oh, gosh.
Josh Powell.
Yeah, it'd be like him saying, "Can't wait to work on the truck today."
Or
Or-
time to barbecue.
Time to-
Yeah, time to bar.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was
okay.
too far. That was way too far. Oh,
By the way,
I
Amber.
know.
I'm
You guys,
so
I've
glad
been
that was
podcasting
Amber.
with you guys way too long. Like,
By,
Oh, Amber.
by the way, the edit button's broken. By the way, I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do about that.
Time to slaughter the chickens.
Oh, those poor
that
children.
was so bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway,
No,
what-
but you know what I mean.
Did you
It's
want to
not-
bring up some more heinous crimes?
It's not too soon. That was like 15 years ago.
Let's go into details about some of Epstein Island stuff. You want to, Phil? Start.
No, but you know what I'm saying.
No,
like,
we don't.
If what's a better murder?
A better murder. You want a better
just so
murder.
I can't
Okay.
make you all uncomfortable.
Like what
There's
was
the
a
Corey
murder?
Richins one, and in Midway, the husband and father bought the big house to celebrate. They drank, and she put arsenic.
Fentanyl.
Oh yeah,
Fentanyl.
yeah. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, it,
That's
Oh,
a lot of
the one
fentanyl.
where she wrote a child's book about grieving their father's
Yes.
death.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah,
maybe
that's a
she-
great one. Yeah, let's bring that one
Well,
up. Go, Phil.
Time to.
well, yeah, because okay,
Yeah,
that's
let's get
not
Phil a
kids.
minute, guys. Come on, go.
So it'd be like that woman getting
Yeah.
on Facebook that morning and saying,
time
"Oh, give me that Xanax because it's gonna be rough today."
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like that.
Well, maybe she said something like,
Gotta lace my drink.
some days are hard enough. You just want to start fentanyl or something.
Yeah.
That's not
Like
incriminating.
if she was like, "Some days are so hard, I just want to slip my husband fentanyl," then it'd
Right,
be like,
it-
okay.
Okay, Phil.
But if it's so ambiguous, I don't know. You can't. That was a reach. I
Yeah,
think.
I think. Yep, you're reaching.
I just can't
Ambiguous.
stop thinking
You're
about.
reaching.
I just can't stop thinking about what Amber said.
I-
earlier.
It was super heinous.
You are welcome.
Amber, I'm trying to help. Hurry, change the
It's
subject.
fine. I know.
Okay.
Hurry, Jeff.
Okay.
Hurry. Your notes.
Oh wait, this is a bad story too. Utah news.
Okay.
It's not a great story.
Oh man.
Well, it just brings up a tough subject. It is an interesting story. So I call this one Kroger is paying their dues. So Kroger stores are part of a massive lawsuit for contributors to selling opioids. So Kroger is paying out $1.37 billion.
Ooh, with a B.
For doing what again?
Well, I mean, it says Utah and 29 states reach a $1.37 billion settlement with Kroger. Basically, here's the gist, is that Kroger houses the pharmacies that have dosed out an unbelievable amount of opioids.
Right.
And with the opioid epidemic, they're basically blaming them as a contributor to this problem. So there's been statewide lawsuits and attorney generals from 29 states who have gotten together and sued various groups for supplying the community essentially with these deadly drugs.
Yeah.
But don't they have to get an okay from doctors in order to?
Yeah, they're prescriptions.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
why the
so-
pharmacy would be.
Yeah.
So
That's
let
what
me
I'm confused too.
it made sense after I read it because I had the same thought too. It's
Mhm.
like he's just the mail guy. Like the
Yeah.
mail guy doesn't realize he's delivering weed, so he can't get delivered. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I guess pharmacists do like take some interest. Like if a guy came in 3 times to fill up fentanyl that day, the pharmacist usually
Fill
is
me up.
like,
I just
Fill me up
lost
with
it
that
in the
fentanyl.
parking lot.
yeah, stuff
so
like
Can I
that.
get another refill?
So listen to this one. So allegedly, Kroger was the largest pharmacy buyer and dispenser of opioids in the state of Utah from 2006 to 2014. So they're the largest supplier of it. I mean,
doesn't that just mean they have more locations?
Or there just more people go to the pharmacy at the grocery store.
Yeah.
they purchased and distributed or dispensed more than 140 million dosages of oxycodone and hydrocodone.
That's crazy. I just don't see how the focus isn't on the doctors, prescribing it.
Or unless they could find that they were illegally filling more prescriptions than they were allowed to or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that would be
Seems weird to me.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think there's a lot of people to blame, and there's like this family that owns, I can't remember, it's not part of the story, but they are big. The family owns basically the way that they make the drugs or something like that. They're massive in the opioid. They make the synthetic version of the
The
opioid.
oxy drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Tramadol.
And they've gotten like 0 lawsuits against them. And they're like gajillionaires, this
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, you mentioned hydrocodone. I got on that one when I broke my back.
Was it awesome?
It was good.
Did
And
you get
Phil's
it?
face is looking a little,
am I getting happier right now?
a little bit, yeah.
But
He's reminiscing
Yeah.
of good times.
because I took 2, I took tramadol and hydrocodone, and tramadol is a synthetic, and they do a little bit different.
Really?
Feel like whatever. I don't know which is better,
Here,
but both of them make your poop like the worst.
like pooping
like-
cinder blocks.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is definitely
it
what
wasn't
we
like I
wanted
was.
to know.
It wasn't like I was coughing so hard that my eyes bled, or no, throwing up.
Thanks, Phil.
But it was as close to childbirth. It was as
Was
close
it?
to childbirth as a man could probably
Really?
experience.
Was it?
What was it?
Let me read this last paragraph really quick
Yeah.
because it will make everything make a little more sense. Utah alleged Kroger also implemented policies that awarded pharmacists with bonuses
Oh, okay.
and with other perks based on the number and speed of prescriptions filled, including prescriptions controlled for controlled substances. So they're giving a
Okay.
bonus program to their pharmacists.
But was it just like how
We'll
many
get you a Kit Kat.
how many in general prescriptions you filled today? And
It said, what
like
it
if it's
said.
just like a performance incentive to do their job.
Yeah,
But if it was specifically like, because I'm just not getting,
Or
because they can't fill prescriptions that aren't prescribed.
the pharmacy is only there to fill a prescription
Yeah.
that has been prescribed
Yeah.
by a doctor.
Yeah.
Like-
now
How
if
do you
there are 20
incentivize them to?
now if there are 20 people in line and 3 of them are opiates and they like push those ahead in the line because they get better kickbacks, that'd be a big deal.
See,
right?
here it is again. We need to get over this hurdle, Phil. See, in hindsight, knowing that the opioid epidemic kills like millions and millions, like tons of people,
Yeah.
in hindsight, it's kind of a problem, right? That there's like swiftly buying massive amounts of this drug that kills all these people and selling it.
I
to
think it was like a cahoots of the people that produce the drug and the doctors, because the people that produce the drug gave the doctors like incentives to prescribe it to their patients.
Right.
Okay, I can see that as a problem.
Yeah.
And then they're probably also like, hey, the speed at which you can get this, and maybe with
maybe
things
they
going
were
smooth.
all in, like it was probably way more interwoven than
me not reading an article.
Exactly.
It's like the grocery store getting in trouble for selling Josh Powell too many matches.
Don't even, Jake.
Did he seriously go there?
Yeah.
I was thinking about something else. Then I heard the laughter and I replayed it backwards in my mind like I do sometimes.
Jake, you are freaking.
I'm just trying to relate it.
No, but it is.
like we've been doing.
And it kind of is like the gun store thing. It's like going after the gun store that sold the guy the gun and then he shot up the school or something. Which, if the guy walks in there and is like, you know, like the creepiest, angriest guy that's just like
Not wearing
looking
deodorant.
at every person around him like he wants to murder them and they didn't even say like, hey, how are you? I guess, I don't know. That's
How's your
probably-
mental health?
How's your driver's license?
How you feeling today? You going to have a good time? I mean, we just went shooting the other
Yeah.
weekend. I went and bought like a bunch of explosives and ammo, and the guy was like, "Going to have a good time?" And I'm like, "I sure hope so."
And you're just like,
Yeah, exactly. But if I was like, not so good for some people, you know what I mean? Like,
Posted on your Facebook, going to do big boy things.
yeah, exactly. But you know what I mean? Like, those guys aren't responsible. It's just like someone in the chain they want to go after to make themselves feel better about like making this wrong right, quote unquote. But
Yeah. I think it is an interesting thing because even like going to like true crime stories, like I was just listening to one where this neighborhood saw the neighbors, like two neighborhood ladies saw this lady who ended up getting murdered, right? Leaving with a guy they didn't recognize. They didn't like throw red flags and like chase the car down and call the cops because it's like she's just leaving with someone.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, that's kind of a big deal. That's kind of like, you know, she's leaving with a guy they didn't recognize. That's almost like the baby oil situation, you know, like the boy, you know, it's a big deal when you look back on it.
like, it isn't a big deal.
No, it is a big deal, Phil.
Like it's nothing.
thinking
So-
back, you're like, oh, I wish I would have done something.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Like the
felt
ladies were
weird
like,
about-
oh, I didn't recognize him. Maybe I should have followed up on that or something.
yeah.
I don't know why. I just never heard about baby oil even being involved in
What?
any sexual anything.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Phil, what kind
we
of
can't
life are you living?
Yeah.
You-
Well, we can't even go to describing why. So
Oh.
just move on, Jeff.
Yep. Yep.
I'm just
Too
trying
much.
I'm trying to imagine it, but
Just don't.
You have no creativity, Phil.
did you put it on the kitchen floor?
Phil. It's not like a high temp cooking
Slide
oil.
on the floor like a what are those called?
Yeah,
Penguin.
You got to get a running start.
The scooter hockey stick thing.
Oh, like on the Olympics?
Yeah. Curly.
Curling, yeah. Curling. Yeah.
This episode is out of control.
Yeah.
Phil.
Now that's a lot of fentanyl.
Yeah.
Oh, bringing it.
Phil.
There you go.
We'll talk after this.
Okay.
Okay.
You tell me later.
I am skipping nationwide news. You can probably guess why. Don't
because
say
you-
it.
Oh,
Because I already
you
I
want to
already
win.
ruined
You
it.
want to win,
Stuff.
Phil.
That's right.
There's
Keep
stuff
the-
coming up.
Yeah.
Be strong.
Be the strong.
Be strong.
So next is messed up animal stories.
Animal.
Animal. It's animal. This is sad, Phil.
Okay.
Wow.
It's kind of messed up because it's the world's largest crocodile in captivity dies.
Oh,
Guess how long it was?
23 feet.
Well, it's pretty good. It's 18 feet long, which I was like, 18 feet? That's freaking ridiculously long.
That's
That
probably
is
the
big.
length of
that's about
Okay, I was
length
like,
of this
please
room?
put it
This room,
put
yeah.
it in perspective for me because sometimes
Yeah.
I'm bad at that.
Length
For
of
those of
this
you who are
room.
listening,
Damn,
it's as long
that
as this
is
room.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the length
In case
of the
you need a
room.
visual.
Yeah.
It's as long, a little bit longer than a short bus.
Yeah, if you want to envision our podcast studio, it is one alligator long. No, sorry, 2 alligators long and 1 alligator wide.
It's about 2 Cayman wide,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Oh, yeah, a little shorter.
So if you have a 18-foot long alligator, how old do you think that is?
17.
23.
You guys are
42 years old.
Really?
You guys are.
Oh, I don't even know.
So far
close.
off.
Really?
145.
Hold on. No.
That's closer.
Are you serious?
Mhm.
89.
128 years.
Jake's probably. Well, I don't
Shut
know.
up. Really?
110,
They get that long?
110 years old.
Wow.
Which
That's
is really
cool.
interesting because it says a huge saltwater crocodile lived in a sanctuary on an island off the coast of Queensland, and then was taken off that in the 80s. So this thing's been around the block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably been like passed around from zoo to zoo. Just like,
Woo.
yeah.
Just like that.
They have to like roll it on a wheelchair.
It's just they just put a
skateboard.
skateboard
I imagine
under it.
like a Mr. Burns looking
Skateboard
alligator.
on it. Have you guys seen the turtle that's on the skateboard?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Cutest ever.
A turtle that's on a skateboard.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
it can go fast.
Oh, they put
It,
a little
like-
one underneath
yes,
the
and
stand.
it
It's,
like a tech deck.
it's a
pretty
sea
adorable.
turtle.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it just
okay.
like it burns around like super fast.
Okay.
It's really cute.
So
Oh,
here-
there it is.
Is that it?
Here's the oldest alligator.
Holy
That
is now
looks
dead.
really
Is that the dead one?
weird.
Or the alive one?
That's
What's up with its mouth?
Oh, its eyes. I was looking over there on the far right.
that looks like something that should be in like the labyrinth.
Yeah. It looks like cocaine crocodile.
It looks like a depiction of Godzilla.
Did you guys see that cocaine bear?
No, I
Yeah,
didn't.
It was a good time. It was as
I
funny
heard
as
about it.
you'd think it would be.
Yeah.
Sounds productive.
Like
yeah.
a bear just like does a bunch of cocaine.
Well, it's based off a true story, right? Like it actually happened.
It did actually happen, except instead of murdering the whole town, the bear just died.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
But
hopefully
it
it had a
did-
good time before.
but it
he
did
died.
apparently like get into a big brick of cocaine. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, it had to have
Yeah.
had like a heart attack.
I think
Yeah.
the story was that there's drug traffickers that threw cocaine out the
Planes.
They were
or
trying to get
something.
rid of it from a plane.
Yeah, yeah.
They thought they were going to get busted, and then a bear
Bear ate
broke
it
into it.
and
Yep.
died.
Pretty intense.
110
Poor
years
thing
old.
didn't have any self control. Just
How
like,
many humans
wow,
do
I like that.
alligator eat?
and then did a whole kilo of cocaine just like that.
Yeah,
What a way to go.
that's
Yeah.
insane. So there you go. Next
Wow.
messed up animal story, because I've got two of them.
Animal.
So this is somewhat like interesting and informative, and I did read this one, guys. Are you excited?
Oh, yeah.
Woo, good job.
Stoked.
So Zion's National Park's first California condor suffers a horrible death. So
This is a
it's in, and I'll tell you why it's interesting. I know it's very sad that this bird died, but it's very difficult to keep these birds alive in the wild, and the reason why is because of what we did over this weekend, which was shotgun shells and pellets, lead pellets. They have very sensitive livers, I guess,
Stomachs. Oh.
and they get lead poisoning very easily.
They
And
eat it?
they'll eat dead animals. So if somebody shoots a bird and leaves the carcass out, or shoots a rabbit,
And it's got
And leaves it out.
Oh, interesting.
or they
Inside.
shoot, any animal,
Yeah.
and they get it,
Is that how it died? They
lead
had-
poisoning.
wow.
Oh, really? Had some lead in it.
That's sad.
Yeah, so they had a tracker on it, and so they called it 1K because it was 1,000th to be hatched since the California Condor Recovery Program started in 1982. It lasted for a while, but the tracker just stopped moving basically, and hikers went in, the team as part of the team went in to find it, and it was just dead in a tree basically. They think it might have even died mid-flight and just
Oh,
fell.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. That's sad.
And they
Wow.
didn't blame it on the lead tracker that they had wrapped around its
No.
Huh?
No,
in its stomach.
Yeah.
the uranium tracker.
Yeah.
Choking it. No, they didn't. But it was very interesting to me because it's a big deal. Scavengers feed off the remains of dead deer, elk, and other game animals, and so they get a lot of lead poisoning.
Well, nearly half of condor deaths reported are from lead poisoning. That's crazy.
Mhm.
That really is crazy.
Because I wouldn't think that many animals are shot with shotguns and just left.
Well, you got to think it's not just shotguns. Like it could be.
Well, that's the only thing that. And do they even still have lead in them?
I don't know, Phil.
I don't know either.
I would
But-
think
I thought
so.
they were steel.
But you could all no. No.
Those
Shotgun?
those pellets we were shooting,
Oh, yeah.
they were lead. You
Yeah.
think?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And 22s, lead. The slugs are lead. You can get them in other things. And it talks about that in here. Non-lead bullets.
Even 22, I thought was copper mostly,
No.
or pewter or something. They shoot lead. I'm gonna Google this. Do bullets bullets
Eating condor
still
halves.
have lead?
Phil, you're a freaking
We'll wait.
idiot.
We'll wait.
There is one industry that continues to embrace lead, hunting and fishing.
Wow.
Well, that's true because of lead
weights.
sinkers. Yeah.
Weird. Well, and I can only imagine too, lead, from what I understand, is also very pervasive. Is that a good word? So even if it's not like heavy metals tend to go places, meaning like if there's a whole bunch of pellets scattered out throughout, let's just say Eureka area,
Yeah.
the plants could potentially have contamination and maybe other animals eat the plants. I don't know.
Under the railing of your old apartment, it may have lead paint in it. Condors may be chipping at that.
Yeah. And I think, RFK is going to take care of this with these condors. Oh, crap.
Oh, he lost.
I
Lead
lost.
is-
Oh, I think
Shh.
he was trying to bait
yeah.
you.
Okay, Phil,
He's trying
what
to
were you
bait
going to
you.
say?
I was going to say lead is an element, right?
Yes,
It's a natural occurring.
it is on the
naturally
periodic
occurring.
table.
Yeah. So there's lead
Well-
everywhere anyway.
I wouldn't say periodically. It's once on the table.
Oh. Get it?
This is a bad joke.
Okay, can I ask an animal thing?
Yeah.
This was bothering me because for some reason
Do animals have elections?
because for some reason some Tiger King meme came up, and I was like, yeah, what was the deal? What was wrong with what Tiger King was doing?
Okay.
Animal cruelty.
Is it?
Yeah. What are the evidence of that,
So-
Amber?
Let me tell you guys.
So let me like my grandfather was a rancher, had cattle, right?
Okay.
And they pick a few of those cattle out and they slaughter them,
Mm-hmm.
and people eat them. When we eat meat, they were slaughtered.
Mm-hmm.
This guy kept tigers. When the tiger got too big to be held by teenagers and
You would make a
photographed,
pizza out of it.
they made a pizza that they fed to the other tigers.
Okay.
No, the humans.
So is that cruelty?
I think that
Keeping them in cages, I think, is the cruel part.
Yeah,
That's
but they're
one
all
part of
the,
it.
The cattle are
That's
in a
one part of it.
cage. They're all in
well,
cages.
the cattle aren't the same as a majestic, beautiful leopard
I just
and
didn't.
tiger.
When I watched it, they're like, "Oh, look, there's flies on the tiger," and I was like, "There are flies on every animal. Have you ever seen an animal?"
I have a theory, and you tell me what you think because
Okay.
you're smart. Is the cuter the animal is, the easier it is for it to be like people
Animal
think you're
cruelty.
abusing.
Like
it.
you
Yeah.
were saying with dogs and cats,
Like
you're
Peanut
saying
the squirrel.
you can't eat a dog and cat
'Cause they're cute. They're
like
high
a
up there.
pet.
But like, how many times do you hear about armadillo advice, or you know what I mean?
Armadillo abuse.
Yeah, or like, what's another heinous, ugly animal? The one we don't have here, but they hang by their tails.
Oh, possum?
Yeah,
Opossum.
opossum. Like
Yeah.
you don't hear people like, oh my god.
Yeah, people can eat
you
them. They can
hear?
shoot them. Nobody
Yeah.
cares. Wild boars in Texas, they're
Oh,
just
yeah.
mowing them down with machine guns.
Yeah, you grab them by the tail, throw them in the air, and just shoot them.
Yeah.
like no one cares.
yeah.
But the tiger's pretty high up on the cuteness scale.
Yeah, but as far as like animal cruelty, like unless they were like torturing the tiger to kill it, but if they're just like this tiger,
Phil,
we
I'm
can't
telling-
keep it anymore, so now it's food for the other
Let's say this
tigers.
again. It is so high that even a fly being around it is abuse.
Oh, okay.
Like that's how
Tigers,
high
they're
tiger
just
cuteness
so
is.
beautiful.
They're so
Have you
cute.
seen Aladdin?
Yeah, that's true. That is a
They're-
beautiful
they
tiger.
all
Does
should be
Raja not tug at your
royal-
heart?
yeah,
Royal pets only,
yeah.
not in cages.
Not in cages in a Hicks
They sh-
backyard and
They should have a gold-plated
Tennessee.
bed on a
Been too long
balcony.
since I've seen that show, so I can't really comment.
yeah. I mean, he was an idiot. He probably deserved to go to jail for what he did,
Yeah.
which was like threatening to kill that Carol Baskin. But
No one talks about the real evil person in that, and that was the doctor. The doc. They called him Doc.
Oh, they did like another one on him, right?
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
was
they did?
scary.
Yeah, they did another because there was Tiger King, and then there was kind of a Tiger King 2, and then there was a Tiger King Doc Antle or whatever. That was like my that was my pandemic like jam.
That was
Tiger
your
King.
pandemic.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even
vaccine.
notice a pandemic because Tiger King is amazing. I was so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I
This
just
COVID thing's
throwing that out there.
Thanks, Phil.
You're welcome. See
The-
how
the
well
one-
I'm doing?
You're doing so well.
Yeah.
The one thing that bothered me about the Tiger King was there was an episode where they showed how they feed the animals, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to Walmart, and any of the food that's getting expired, they give us a deal on it." And they're like,
Yeah.
slicing hot dog packages open and
I'm like,
giving them
those
to the tiger.
tigers are in heaven right now. They're like, those were expired hot dogs. I was like, you know it's a tiger, right?
That meat was
They
2 days
literally probably
older
ate
than the
a
date.
rancid buffalo in Africa
I'm just
2
telling
generations ago.
you, too cute for hot dogs.
I guess so.
Too cute for hot dogs. Okay, was that it? Was that
Yep.
all you want to say
Okay,
about
bye.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to talk about space because this is the galactic news.
Yes.
And I call this one, I'm going to stop by the hospital on my way home from work. Because did you guys see pictures of the astronaut lady that was stuck in space, who's finally home now, by the way?
Oh, really?
SpaceX
Thanks to
swung by on their
At the-
taxi
Mr.
cab.
Musk.
At the space station?
Mm-hmm.
I thought there were two
Does she look bad?
astronauts.
Is she like
Yeah.
totally atrophied?
So there's 2 astronauts.
I thought they weren't doing it till like February or something.
It might be
Or
February.
was it just a
Well,
pit
that
stop
was-
on the way
wasn't
back
that the
from Mars?
original
Elon
plan?
Musk was just, hey, hop on.
I think they swung the. They must have listened to the podcast and
Where
they
you
swung
headed?
the Tesla that's flying around in space.
The Roadster
Dude
just
drove
kind
it
of
by,
pushed it
yeah.
out a little bit.
But there is so the female that was up there. This is hilarious to me. So I'll give a quick little thing and then we'll go into like her condition. But NASA astronaut remains in hospital after returning from space. Now this is a little bit old. She may be out by now, but the next story that I ran into made me laugh so hard because it said NASA tells SpaceX to focus on safety after the astronauts hospitalized.
Oh, shut up, NASA.
It's like, hey, NASA, tell Boeing to focus on safety.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh, you're saying because
NASA couldn't even do it. So SpaceX is like, okay, fine, we'll do it. And then
Yeah.
NASA's like, be careful. You should be more safe
Basically,
getting
yeah.
human back when we couldn't do it.
are the first people to go.
It's
in-
like Josh Powell.
oh my
Stop
gosh.
it. That cannot be the
Oh
recurring
my
joke.
gosh.
You can bring up baby oil as much as you want,
And fentanyl.
but
Okay.
not
Okay.
Josh Powell.
Is baby
Damn.
oil? It's not flammable.
Yeah,
No, is it?
I feel like
Probably.
I thought it was like mineral oil based.
No, it's probably not flammable because I don't know why they would put
Yeah,
flammable
why would you put-
oils on a baby's
is
butt.
baby oil
Flammable.
flammable?
No
It's
reason.
not.
Oh,
Weren't
you're
you
a
a Boy
faster
Scout?
typer than I am.
No, I didn't even look it up.
Oh, you're just
He
smart.
just knows.
Are you not a Boy Scout,
I'm
guys?
apparently not.
So, this astronaut
I'm
lady,
curious, is it?
What do you use baby oil for? I swear we never use baby oil with our kids. Is it for their hair, their head, their butt?
It's
What
for
did we
dryness.
use baby oil for?
I know.
I'll
I'm
tell you-
trying to
I'll tell
think.
you.
I don't think
I
a
think it's-
moisturizer,
I know
like
my
an
mom
extra
used-
moisturizer.
My
Is
mom
that-
used to put it on our skin as babies, like on our head,
yeah.
because
To make it glistening for the pictures?
Get dry.
So,
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
moisturized.
Phil, I'll tell you what it's
Yeah, it's a
for.
moisturizer.
When
Okay.
when teenagers want to get a suntan,
Uh-huh.
they put it on their body and it accentuates the sun and they get burned.
Yeah, and you burn a lot when
I
you're doing
I
it,
did do that.
and
I
you're in
remember.
high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
There's
you
this,
lay out for an hour and a half with
Yeah.
baby oil, and you burn.
So when you want to burn your baby.
And it hurts.
yeah.
Burn your baby.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, I didn't bring it up this time. It was
Oh, I didn't even think
guys.
about that. I was thinking out in the sun.
Phil,
I was thinking out in the sun.
Phil,
Oh my gosh. We're horrible people.
Phil,
Baby oil is flammable.
Yeah.
Phil.
Okay. Is it?
slightly
Yes, I just looked
flammable
it up.
in
Oh,
presence
really?
of open flame. non-flammable
way.
in the presence of shocks.
Electric shock.
So
So you're making your baby more flammable.
Phil, I am done with this episode. You take over from here.
I'm just.
Did you want to talk about burning other
I
children?
was waiting for you to like say the thing about the astronaut.
I'm mad at you.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I feel like
So-
this is my fault.
So P. Diddy goes to space, rescues.
They're using baby oil as the rocket fuel now. Right?
No.
No, tell me what the story was. The woman, okay, I remember.
So
SpaceX was like
yeah.
Why was she
really
hospitalized?
good, and then NASA almost killed an astronaut, and then they're like, SpaceX, focus on safety. You're going so fast, you're not focusing on safety. That was pretty much.
Why was
Because she came back unhealthy or
hospitalized?
something. Yeah.
They never said. That's the thing.
Oh.
So it's kind of annoying.
Was she hospitalized because the rocket was coming back so fast?
No, she
Did she get whiplash because it landed between two chopsticks?
no.
Okay.
See,
So-
I think they've been too.
That's not it. All right.
Dang it.
I-
Okay, next.
I think they've been too. What's the word? Like cautious. They've shot up like 5 of those rockets now and blew them up. Let's put a person in there, or like a monkey. Why don't they start with that?
Yeah, or a dog.
Back
Cuteness
to
scale,
animal
Phil.
cruelty.
Or a
Cuteness scale.
tiger.
Or a
Why don't we
tiger.
put a tiger in there?
Yep.
Throw a tiger in there, Phil.
Or an emu?
Let's get a really ugly animal.
Is this the woman you're talking
No, I
about?
put female ostrich before and after, thinking that they would come up for sure.
Female astronaut before and after.
Yeah.
That's
Because-
what you put in.
What did you think I should have put in?
I don't know. That seems like a plastic
Survivor
surgery
female.
thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Before and after implants.
Oh, I was thinking a nose job, but
You got
Sure, Phil. I'm over here wholesome. It's a nose job.
long stay in
in Mexico.
Space
Space.
station.
what's that called?
Space station.
International Space
ISS.
How
ISS.
I don't know why
Her head
there's
looks
not.
tiny.
Those are all different people.
What is her name? Maybe
So-
type in her name.
yeah, I know. But
The
I didn't
blue
realize
ones.
so
The
many
blue
women
ones.
have been to space. That's
Who
blue ones
amazing.
right there. Those are the
who
two.
is the
So
astronaut?
this
Right now.
this is the
made-
lady.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. She
That's-
looks healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah, she does in that picture.
she's fine.
What's her name?
She's fine.
Now look at her in the
NASA's
hospital.
just-
So that's her, I think, during. And for the listener,
I-
she looks like she's
and give
slowly
us the
turning.
after.
She's
Give us the after
slowly-
photo now.
more emaciated.
I don't know where the after is. I can't like.
Didn't pull up with your Google search.
Have you guys
of-
seen The Walking Dead? Just imagine that. No, I'm just
Mhm.
kidding. She doesn't look that bad, but she does look definitely unhealthy.
You know what I think?
Is that from her? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well,
Mine was so left field.
I'm just wondering, like, what is she? Was she sick from being up there so long, or it was like
Yeah.
she got sick from the flight back?
It was
Like-
weight loss, and there's no. It's very difficult to exercise up there, so I think there's probably like problems with her body. You know,
Yeah,
I think
so-
that's her
atrophy.
after. Which she looks like she aged quite a bit
She's
in
a
Yeah.
long chin.
a few months.
Dang.
You know what? I think Elon Musk needs to cut when he gets into whatever.
Foreskin
Oh.
of his babies.
It out.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
All the Mars stuff, like everything Mars, just shut it down.
Mm.
And let me tell you why.
Okay.
And I'm
Whoa,
just
whoa,
saying
is
this.
this going to get political?
I know.
Nope.
I was just
Can you
going to say,
tell
us why?
careful.
Calm
No,
down.
it's because
Tiptoe.
I have sat and literally in my lifetime, I'm embarrassed to say this, have probably spent at least 5 to 6 hours
A
just
day.
watching YouTube clips
Uh-huh.
of the Curiosity rover like panning around on Mars,
Yeah.
and just and beyond me, there are hundreds of thousands of logged hours of like that,
Yeah.
and there's nothing up there.
Well,
Like, I've watched it enough to know there's nothing. Shut it down.
Phil's an expert on it.
See?
See?
Phil.
Amber said so.
See? It's true.
so why does Elon want to go up there? Does he think he's going to discover something?
That's like the sales pitch. He knows we're never going to get there, I think.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
I could see that. actually.
See that he.
I don't believe
thinks
it, but I think he really does want to
Yeah.
go there.
It's minus like best case scenario gets up to like 70 degrees on Mars.
Uh-huh.
Most of the time it's like minus 250 or something like that.
It's like Alaska.
Yeah. It's like inhabitable.
Yeah.
It's not like
Are
Alaska.
they
It's
looking
worse
at it-
than
I'm
like
teasing.
the worst conditions of the North Pole, which
I'm
we
teasing.
very rarely go to.
Are they looking at it to try to live on it?
No, as far as I know, NASA is looking for life. They're up there
NASA
like drilling
Oh,
little holes and
okay.
looking for bacteria and stuff.
Yeah.
They haven't found any. It's like
That's
how
not
many-
true.
how
They
many
found
holes- what?
they found liquid,
No.
not liquid. They found
They've never found liquid on Mars, but they found like
Matt Damon.
saline salts or whatever that they're like this
did
proves
find
that there
Matt
was liquid. And then they'll find like the what do you call it? Like
Caterpillars.
the markers of water. Like this shows there
It looks
used
like
to
there
be
was
water.
erosion
Water.
here.
Yeah.
See,
But there's no water, there's no life. And how many holes are you going to drill up there? It probably costs us like $1 million a minute to have like a whole team of guys like driving that
You're
thing up
funny.
there.
yeah.
$1 million.
Well,
Let's see.
I think you're right, Phil.
Yeah, see?
I
Why
agree
don't
with you.
Why don't you read that out loud, Phil?
Yes, scientists have found water on Mars in several forms, including ground. No, they didn't. NASA's Insight Lander estimates
This is a lie.
that Mars has enough groundwater. See, this is the problem with the internet right now. They have not found groundwater, and it says yes, they have, and then right underneath it says NASA's Insight Lander data estimates that Mars has enough groundwater to cover the planet to a depth of 1 to 2 kilometers. So they think probably a mile under the surface where we will never get to. We can't get that deep here that there's water. That's ridiculous.
NASA's Mars orbiter.
Reconnaissance.
Uh-huh.
It's not a word.
Detected hydrated minerals on slopes where dark streaks appear. These streaks, called recurring slope lineae,
Lineae.
appear to flow down slopes during warm seasons. Underground ice. In 2016, NASA reported finding a large amount of underground ice in the Utopia region. The volume of water detected was estimated to be similar to the volume of the water. I don't think that's a direct discovery either. I think it's like this slope is like heavier when we...
Okay, read more data and then tell us how it's wrong.
Okay.
The water on Mars could be imported for future human exploration. Important. God, I can't see from here.
Imported from Venus.
I was like, we're gonna bring it back to America.
Just show me a picture of it. Show me the picture of the water on Mars.
Okay.
Images.
I'll click images.
Oh, there it is. A
Whoa.
whole lake of water. That's not real.
Phil.
That's not
Phil.
real, Jeff. What you're
Phil.
looking at is not real.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me type real into the image search. That'll really weed everything.
that's like
out.
a that's
actual real water.
So what Jeff
Type
just
in-
showed us was like a drone image flowing like floating over like a lake with like turbulent water in it, which doesn't exist on Mars.
Just put on water on Mars before and after.
Yeah.
astronaut
Thanks,
lady.
Jake.
See, almost all water on Mars exists as polar permafrost ice and also exists in small quantities as vapor in the atmosphere.
It's
Okay,
almost
so
like
we
they
can
found-
say that
So they
there's
found
probably
water on Mars.
on Mars.
There's ice on Mars.
That's water.
Oh,
There's
that's
no
right. Yeah, there's
water.
no water.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because ice isn't water.
See, look, what was thought to be low volume liquid brines in shallow Martian soil, also called recurring slope lineae, may be grains of flowing sand and dust slipping downhill to make dark streaks. There's no water.
Water is also visible on the surface at the North Polar Ice Cap. Let's click that and see what
Yeah.
images come up. Oh, gosh. It's like a picture.
Yeah,
It's weird, Phil.
yeah, it's just ice.
So anyways, what I'm trying to
And
get
look,
at
and,
is...
and its composition isn't water. It's like, see, solid carbon dioxide. A thin seasonal veneer of carbon dioxide. They haven't landed in that ice and melted it and been like, that's water. We can drink it.
I mean, let's be honest. It's not water till you make coffee out of
Yeah.
it. So, right, Phil?
or you pee it.
You got the worst, stupidest ideas.
I made
So-
Jeff so mad about this
I
one.
hate you. I'm back. I like Jake again. I freaking hate you, Phil.
I won.
So my point is that what I was going to bring up was that what Elon Musk has said, that why he wants to go to Mars is not for discoveries. It's not for anything other than he thinks that we should inhabit other planets, and Mars is the closest and most attainable place to inhabit.
But it's not inhabitable. It's not.
What do you mean by
is.
inhabitable? People can live on the North Pole. People can live 2 miles underwater.
Except that no one does live on the North Pole, do they?
Yeah, they do.
And this is like twice.
Oh, I think it's actually
Giants
the South
do.
Pole.
This is like twice as cold.
The Nazis
as
live on the North Pole. Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah.
There's portals to other planets up
Yes,
there.
I have heard that before.
No, but for real, it's like they can factually live there. Like they can.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah. But that's Elon Musk's goal.
You just got to cover your mouth.
Yeah. N95. they have a Mars vaccine.
N95.
Have you ever seen the documentary with Arnold Schwarzenegger? What's his name? Or what's the movie?
I don't know.
Total Recall?
Total Recall.
No, but you know what was funny? I saw a clip of Stephen Colbert dancing with like a bunch of vaccines.
Yeah,
And that was a real thing apparently during the pandemic. They were trying to
promote the vaccine.
promote how fun vaccines were.
Barf.
Yeah, it was
so
barf.
funny.
Yeah,
You go to
the back of-
Disneyland and like Mickey's got a needle hanging out of his arm.
Vaccines are cool, kids.
Oh boy,
Love
kids.
I'm just waiting on you to do the next thing.
I'm not
Yeah.
doing anything.
Oh, okay.
I checked out of
You're
this
too mad.
podcast an hour ago.
That's a lot of
Oh.
fentanyl.
yeah. So
Did we win your
Subject.
thing?
So Elon Musk, you think doesn't really think we can go to Mars?
I don't think so.
It's just a ploy to build.
If they
a
land on
space-
the moon,
a rocket company,
then I will say maybe.
you'll eat your shoe or
I'll
whatever.
eat my shoe. Like if person lands on the moon and walks out, it's like that's a real thing.
wait, do you still wait? Which part of the world are you on right now? Because Phil, throughout his whole life, has gone from we never landed on the moon to we've probably landed on the moon.
Yeah.
To probably not to most likely we did. Yeah, absolutely. Where are you at right now?
I go back and forth. I
Where-
don't know where I am right now, actually.
Well, why did you think that us going to the moon and walking on the moon is going to say anything? We've already done that.
Like I was just watching another documentary where they're interviewing
Here we go.
Buzz Aldrin,
Uh-huh.
and he's like talking about how Neil Armstrong is landing that lander. He's like, we had to roll it so many degrees to whatever, and Neil was using the controls to pitch and haw or whatever those
Pitch
terms
and
are.
haw, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and then I was reading out the altimeter, 300 meters, 200 meters, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had to level it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, there's no way on Earth they could have flown that lander on Earth and landed it. It's like rockets on the bottom. Have you ever seen anyone fly a car with rockets on the bottom and land it safely?
Phil, you
all the
said
time.
there's no
Three
way
times a week.
on Earth. Of course not. It was on the planet.
that's
It
what
was
I'm
on
saying.
Mars.
It's like-
or it was on the moon.
So that's what I'm saying is like we could never do
He's
this
saying-
here, but when
he's-
it gets to the moon, it'll be
he's-
really easy.
He's saying that.
Oh,
So you're saying that, of course, that we did it on the moon because there's no way, literally, on Earth that we could do it.
No, I'm saying
What are we talking about?
to my understanding, and maybe
Uh-huh.
you can tell me otherwise, before they did that, they never did it on Earth.
There's no way they could have done it practicing,
Yeah.
right? To know.
I'm saying
how
that
to,
thing would just like, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
no.
And
They
to
wouldn't
my
know how
knowledge,
much thrust to give it the right
Yeah.
angle.
and to my knowledge, and I could be totally wrong about this.
probably are,
Probably
but-
are, yeah.
To
okay,
my
go ahead.
knowledge, they didn't. That wasn't a thing that ever happened in practice.
Yeah. So it's probably a no.
Yeah, see?
If Elon can land a 20-story building and some chopsticks,
And that's what I'm saying. He did that with all this huge advancement in technology.
Mhm.
And they didn't do it the first time. They crashed like 7 of those things
Yeah.
Yeah.
before they finally did it.
Mhm.
Like that's actually what's kind of awoken this thing in me. I'm like, okay, if it was so easy back then, we should have, as soon as we put Tesla's autopilot in a rocket, it should have landed the first time. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
but it took a bunch of rockets, and those are real expensive. There's no earthly reason to crash rockets if you have computer technology that can land one.
But is there a
Very
moonly
easily.
reason to do it?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Phil,
That's
So,
the question.
if the moon were made of cheese, would you eat it?
Did you eat it?
Would you eat it?
So I don't know. We probably did land on the moon.
You think
Cubs
so?
win.
When Elon lands there and
Then you'll believe it.
does it, then yeah, probably, I guess. If he's like, yep, here's the flag, and it's like high definition. It's like panning around. Here's the flag.
Oh, wait,
here's-
you think he's going to be there?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I would, 100%. If I was that guy,
Yeah.
I would be on that rocket.
Yeah.
You can't get any higher than that in your career, your life.
I was actually talking to my business partner about Buzz Aldrin, how literally he went on the moon and then that was all he needed to do. Now he just goes and talks at conferences and
yeah.
Yeah, he peaked pretty early. That's pretty sad. Like usually, you know.
how do you go higher than
what was he
that?
in his upper 30s? Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, it's like Barack
Pathetic.
Obama.
Like it's just downhill from there.
Yeah.
You're over the hill before you're even 40. That's
Pathetic.
what a waste of
Oh,
flesh.
Like Barack Obama can probably speak at 3 universities a year for $250,000 a pop.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or you could just do insider trading for God knows how long.
Is that a thing Obama did?
I don't know.
Oh.
Sounds like it.
Speaking of insider trading,
Does it have anything to do
Martha
with
Stewart.
politics?
yeah, did you watch the Martha thing?
Oh,
on
I
Netflix?
did. The documentary. Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
That was really crazy.
All this time I thought she had insider traded, but she didn't.
Oh.
They went after her for lying to them about how her
The
trade was
FBI.
made.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was about like a brownie recipe.
No, it was James Comey. You know who James Comey is. That's the guy who nailed Martha Stewart. And it was because her
Gluten-free brownies.
she told the FBI, I don't remember how the trade went down, but apparently told her friend, at least her friend testified, that she said, my broker called me and said we should sell this stock, so I said okay. And because of that discrepancy, they put her in jail. It's like insane.
Yeah.
But they advertised it as insider trading.
Well, that's
So
how
they-
I always understood it.
That's what it was on the news.
Yeah.
She's in jail because of that.
But what she actually did wasn't even insider trading, right? If your
don't know.
broker calls you and is like, I think we should sell this stock, and you say, okay. Unless he calls you and says, I just talked to the owner of this company and he's selling his stock because the company's going under tomorrow, so you should sell. That's insider trading. Although I still don't understand what you're supposed to do at that point.
Yeah, you hear
Yeah.
the information you're supposed to just keep and lose your money.
Just be like,
Yeah.
no, don't sell, or call the FBI and be like, I think someone just tried to get me to insider trade. I don't know. Seems crazy.
yeah, if you have the information, what do you?
What do you do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a
I
problem.
feel like most people would have done what she did.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Yeah.
I would, if I owned any stocks and a guy called me who like did my stocks and was like, you should sell these stocks, I'd be like, okay.
You're smarter than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I pay you to read about stocks. I don't. So of course.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
at
you
all.
should watch it. It was mind
It is
blowing.
really interesting.
Yeah.
How long is it?
Like an hour and a
That
half.
was my
Is-
first question. And second question is Snoop Dogg in it?
I was gonna say
Yeah,
that's gonna be my.
Snoop
He
is
is?
in it.
Yeah.
I'll watch
Not
it.
till like more of the end.
It-
But
Well,
it
don't
act-
spoil it for me.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
because it's actually really interesting how because I've always been like, why are they friends? And the reason is actually way more obvious than
He's
you
an
think.
insider
they
trader.
both like weed.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh. They serve time together?
No,
Okay.
it's even more. Should I? No, I won't.
Yeah,
spoil
tell
it.
me.
Well, it's because of that.
I probably won't watch
It's
it.
because of the Justin Bieber
Epstein.
roast.
the roast,
dang.
yeah.
Oh.
That's where they met.
Oh.
They She said she was sitting next to Snoop and he smoked blunts the whole
Oh
time.
yeah, so she got
And
secondhand.
she got secondhand high off of it, and they were like friends after that.
yeah,
That's funny.
and she
Yeah.
like killed it at the roast too.
Yeah.
She got
Oh,
up
yeah.
on stage.
Oh yeah, she got it.
Oh, it
and
was
and she like
incredible.
kept up with everyone and
Yeah.
After jail.
Yeah.
yeah.
before?
This was after jail. This
That's
was
funny.
like part of her comeback.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the start of her comeback actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really keep up with Martha Stewart.
I didn't either.
I did.
So
I
weird,
know.
huh?
Yeah.
Same. I didn't either. But then I was just like, oh wow, she is a really fascinating person.
Yeah.
I feel like.
She is. So you should watch it.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Don't be intimidated by a strong, competent
Man.
woman.
Oh, woman. That's what I was thinking.
How's
Phil,
the Artemis project doing?
what is
Haven't
the
heard
Artemis
about
project?
that for a long time.
Oh,
Going to the moon.
yeah. I guess they're planning on going to the moon still.
That's what this Elon Musk stuff is. That's what that rocket's for.
No, because we had Walter on. He works for NASA.
No,
And
NASA's
he's
doing their own
doing-
thing.
NASA's
There's-
not
The
They-
Artemis project's a NASA thing. I
The
thought.
Artemis project will be a what's that rocket called?
dragon.
That
Dragging these nuts.
that he just caught in the chopsticks.
Is the Falcon heavy?
The Falcon,
I don't know if it was one of
Falcon
the
9.
ones.
but it's called Super Heavy, right?
Super heavy.
Yeah. That's the rocket. NASA's just going to commission a version of that and paint it white with a NASA thing. So all that Elon
Racist.
Musk stuff is that mission, pretty much.
NASA's Artemis program is using SpaceX's Starship rocket.
Starship is
Yeah,
what I meant.
Starship.
as part of its human landing system, the HLS.
Yeah.
Artemis 3 is the first crewed lunar. So really, the Artemis program is mostly just the actual capsule. It's not the actual stage 1 rocket.
Well, I think Artemis is just going to the moon.
Artemis is the multi-stage project where we eventually will send people back. to
But
the moon.
what I'm saying is that's what Elon Musk is like. Everything he's doing has to happen before Artemis happens.
So you're telling me that Elon Musk is giving a ride to NASA like an Uber, and NASA's like, we're sending people to the moon.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling you this whole time.
Then and my stepbrother has a job doing
Yeah.
what?
I think
He's an Uber driver.
no.
no, he designs the Uber car.
I can't
rockets.
remember what he does. He like analyzes
No,
rocket
he's actually
thrust
in
or
charge.
something.
He's the head
He's actually
installation
very,
engineer.
Very important.
Yeah, we should have him on again to see if
Yeah.
he believes we went to the moon.
I want to see him admit that they're using SpaceX's stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't
mean,
know
not
that
like-
they were using SpaceX.
I mean,
but is SpaceX stuff even their stuff? It's NASA's stuff because NASA's
Phil-
like
Phil,
paying for it.
you are, for someone that's never like done drugs and been drunk, you are a retard.
Oh
You
my
can't say
god!
that
I can't say
word.
that.
You can't say that word.
You are an idiot.
Too bad
I have
the
done
edit
drugs,
button
though,
is
didn't you?
broken.
Oh yeah, you have done drugs.
Yeah, didn't you hear that the whole
He's
time?
done with it.
Dentist office.
Oxy,
And with-
Oh yeah.
hydrocodone.
and hydrocodone.
So you're now placing the argument that because the federal government has funded parts of SpaceX that now it's the federal government's.
So
program.
SpaceX would not exist on any level without government funding. I
Yeah,
think.
on any level, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
totally.
So
Yep.
So
and-
I own
so mad.
SpaceX. I made
Mad right
SpaceX
now.
possible.
you know why it's like your own anxiety. You want to talk about politics.
I don't even know
And
what
we're
you're talking
just all
about.
doing our best to like hem and haw around the elephant, and it's just like
No, I don't understand the logic of like, oh, if the federal government didn't fund it, then SpaceX wouldn't exist and nothing would be done.
No,
I
I'm
disagree
saying,
with that.
I'm saying it wouldn't exist without them, and they're also funding the development of this rocket.
Oh no, the thing that irritated me was that you said that the things that SpaceX is doing belongs to NASA.
No,
You
well,
said that.
a little bit.
Yeah, you said that.
Well, like, look at it this way: if
How is
like,
that possible?
Like, does Chevy belong to the government?
No.
But
Not
the
at all.
The government, like, they're paying money back to the government for that bailout.
So?
in 2008.
So?
Yeah, they don't.
The
own
government
them.
doesn't innovate anything. They don't produce, develop, maintain, manage any of it.
Well, look at it this way:
But
does
they
the-
made it possible through funding.
if
Give
you
me
get a
another
lo-
example that
if
doesn't
you-
work.
If you get a loan for a house from
Uh-huh.
the bank,
Yeah.
the bank owns the house.
and
Very,
you blow it up
very-
with people inside.
Oh my god!
I'm going home.
Maybe we should start into
The bank-
politics.
The bank.
How is
I feel like
politics
this-
going to calm stuff down?
That's why.
Amber,
We're strategically trying to get you to veer.
don't make me hate
I
you
know.
too.
Hey, I'm sorry.
This is
No,
I am
really. If you
upset.
if you get a loan for a house,
Phil, this is the worst example ever because
owns the
explicitly
house?
in the paperwork it says the bank owns a house.
well, it says the bank
Dirt.
will retain the title of the house.
Are you?
Oh,
I
In
think
case-
You
what
guys-
Jeff and I are thinking is that it sounds as though SpaceX doesn't deserve any credit.
No. I'm just saying that SpaceX, like, you get credit. You bought a house. Good for you.
Phil's
But
bike.
it's the bank's house
Phil,
until you pay all that money
that's the
off.
worst example ever.
You guys,
Because
let's.
So-
even if you go
so-
to sell your house, which
so
you in
Donald
theory,
Trump.
even if you go to sell your house, which you in theory own, the bank has to sign off on it because
Jeff has a question.
Yes.
So Elon
back,
Musk
Jeff,
and
yes.
SpaceX is paying back a loan to the
You, sir.
government? Is that your
I
example?
actually don't know.
They're
how
not.
That works.
They're just giving them money.
If they are just giving them money for free,
Yeah.
with nothing,
Yeah.
no expectation, I don't think so.
no, not with no expectations. But they're giving, just like the federal government gives to many things. It's called a grant. They
Yeah.
give money out to lots and lots of people, and they go, here you go.
Go make
Figure
something
things
of
out.
your life.
Solve cancer. Get us to the moon. Whatever. And then they probably retain some rights to be able to use that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. We should have the two people, like the person at SpaceX and the person at NASA that like writes the check to the other person. We
Celebrity
should have
deathmatch.
we should have those two on so we can ask them like
Celebrity deathmatch.
what the actual specifics
Who wins?
are.
You're asking for Joe Biden and Elon Musk.
Yeah. Joe Biden.
And Elon Musk.
The head of NASA, Joe Biden.
You brought it
Should be
up.
pretty easy.
I know. Okay, so
for a second.
I'll call him up.
Okay.
the winners of this game, first place goes to Amber, I think has brought up
Hell yeah.
politics the list. Sorry you brought up Elon. That's borderline politics these days.
I did think that before I said it.
And I brought up RFK, and Jake, 4 seconds into this
It was
foreplay,
like a second and a half.
said, I love Trump or something, whatever he said.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say this, but
Amber's better than us.
we're going to calm down and talk about a subject that we can all agree on. Probably not,
Wait, why?
because we're to the main topic now,
okay.
which
national
is
news. We were
national news,
We've zoomed back onto the earth.
politics.
Boo.
Now we have nothing to say.
And
We've already said it, like side skirting.
Yeah, what is there to say now?
I guess not.
I'm too tired now. To do it.
Did you have a thing?
Red Bull?
What are they-
You want a Red Bull?
Yeah, there
Before you
go.
We got
talk
2
about
Red
No,
Bulls right there.
no, Donald Trump won.
What did he
No
win?
way.
Yeah, the
Wow.
presidency, and
That's
it wasn't that crazy.
Who's surprised?
I was
I am
surprised.
Really? You were really surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised, and also not at all. It's like it was kind of a surreal feeling. It's like, of course, but then I was like, well,
How?
yeah, exactly. I was like,
But how? Yeah.
she spent $1 billion. $1 billion. Taylor Swift endorsed her. And he still won. That was
And-
surprising.
Yeah,
And
that is
Beyonce.
surprising, actually, I guess, with all the Swifties.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all the
Who were like
Swifties can't
12.
vote.
We're
She was 13 years
Um,
old.
maybe.
No. There's plenty of crazy
Cat
adults
ladies.
out there.
I didn't
Yes.
think about that. It was kind of, I did feel good about that, though. I'm like, I'm glad that even though mega celebrities are super popular, they
endorse
can't
them
like
and that they didn't
tell people how to think.
Yes,
pretty much.
That,
Like,
that is
yeah.
refreshing.
I think they kind of did. It was, I mean,
Well, no, they said how to, but it didn't like work. Is what I'm saying.
well, okay.
Oh,
I
you don't think
most
so?
Well-
people did not like either candidate, really.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that is the majority.
Yeah, I think maybe are you saying that like I think when Biden won, there wasn't a lot of Biden votes, there was a lot of no Trump votes to Biden.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people maybe voted for Trump because RFK was backing. And also,
Phil didn't.
That's true. Phil,
I did.
Did you write in
I
RFK?
yeah, I should say that I recant what I said. It turns out I did write a RFK in, and then you can actually go on Utah's website and see there are actually write-ins that only got 1 vote. but no RFK. And it's because they have to be a declared candidate.
Oh.
And if he withdrew his candidacy, Utah won't count him.
I think that's what Jeff was saying.
He was saying that.
Can I get that in writing?
Yeah.
Like, I was wrong.
Jeff was
you
like
were
sitting
right.
there just like basking in the
It's not a marriage. It's not a marriage.
You can just
moment of-
you can listen to this podcast and you can turn on that like text thing that tells you what the words are.
Okay, thanks. And then I'll copy that and paste it into
Yeah,
a Word
there-
document.
there you go.
Forge your signature.
I was bummed. Because I wanted to
Okay.
screenshot it or whatever. That was me.
That's okay.
But there had to be like 1,000 people at least that did that.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of people actually.
But then I found out a little digging that Utah County, apparently if there's like question about who you're trying to vote for, like it wasn't clear, you didn't fill in the bubble right, a panel of 2 voting workers
Mm-hmm.
can determine your intent,
What?
which I was pretty...
Really?
Yeah. So, and I don't know like what that means, if they literally can be like, oh, they didn't fill that bubble out and they're in Utah, so it was a Trump vote, like, or if it's like,
Who doesn't fill the bubble out right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. So
Did
people
you
that
use a
don't
number
have,
2
like-
pencil?
Did you? You've taken the
Yeah,
ACT,
yeah.
right?
Well, some people don't have hands, and so they're like,
Phil.
Or
filling
their
it out
feet?
like that. Yeah, or using their feet. I don't know.
It's true though. What about people without hands? How do they fill out the bubble?
Jake.
Oh my god.
It's hard to draw with your mouth. Have you ever drawn with your mouth?
Jake.
Inside bubbles?
Jakey. Calm down.
But yeah, so I thought that was so. Anyway, I wrote in RFK. Turns out it didn't even count, and but that's fine.
Well, so let's talk about people that endorse Trump, because there's actually a lot right towards the end there.
Yeah.
And some of them were quite shocking. Like RFK was cool. It was kind of earlier in the whole setup. So,
Yeah.
but then right towards the end,
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi, I don't know
She
about that
moved
one.
from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party and endorsed Trump.
Wow.
Well, and that's I think that one's been a while. But
It was about a month or
Elon
two
turned.
before.
I think we talked about that.
Elon talked about he did it right when he got shot. When he got shot and stood up and threw his fist in the
Oh,
air,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, I endorse this guy.
Yeah, it was right after, wasn't it?
Mhm.
And then, but the big one was, I think, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
was like right at the 11th hour.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Dana White,
Yeah,
which wasn't right at the 11th hour, but Joe Rogan was literally like the week before or something like that.
yeah.
When he had Elon on his show
Or when he had
after Trump.
Oh, after Trump.
Yeah, and Joe Rogan is interesting. I've listened to a few of his podcasts since the election, and he was like, even a year ago, I never would have voted for Trump. But he said his perception of Trump was largely based on like stuff he didn't even look into. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that guy said grab him by the
Like
Whatever.
media stuff.
media stuff, like headlines.
Mm-hmm.
But never like read into it actually. And
Yeah.
he said once he did, he was kind of like, oh, it's not so bad or whatever. But
What did you think about Kill Tony? Tony Hinchcliffe,
oh yeah, that went down.
his comment.
Yeah. So when I watched that, I was like, oh, that was poor taste or whatever. But and then more Puerto Ricans voted for Trump than for any other Republican. That was what was so hilarious. They're like, oh, this comedian disparaged Puerto Ricans, but then it's like, yeah, you're kind of calling those people. I can't remember who I was listening to, but they're like, have you met like Puerto Ricans in New York? They're like the toughest people. It's like Puerto Ricans and Irish people are always like making fun of each other and stuff. They're not like some wimpy class of
Yeah.
like, oh, poor me or whatever. It's like, so that was kind of funny.
What was that movie about Puerto Ricans done by Lin-Manuel Miranda, the musical?
The musical.
West Side Story.
No, it's kind of like it.
You're talking
I
about,
want to go back to San
was-
Juan.
That was Steven Spielberg.
yeah, no, you're
And
talking
it was
about,
kind of recent.
Yeah,
What?
like a year or two ago.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But
Oh, I
can't
don't
think of
know,
what,
actually.
Uh,
because I keep thinking about
I don't know if that
About the
Hamilton.
Puerto
Hamilton.
Rican community in the United States and how strong, solid they are.
Oh, interesting.
So for any of the listeners that don't know,
Havana or something like that.
the
Something like
Puerto
that.
Rican comment we're talking about is Tony Hinchcliffe, who's a roaster,
Yeah.
who's notoriously just heinous with his jokes, said, we have a floating pile of trash in the middle of the ocean. I think we call it Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah. Well,
That was the joke.
You didn't set it up very well.
Oh, no, I'm not a comedian.
Because he said, like, he's like, the Republican Party loves immigrants. That's why I'm waving my hands to them.
I
or
welcome
something.
them with open arms.
Yeah, but he's shaking his arms like, "Don't come here," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, go away.
Wave him away.
And then he lands, and then I shouldn't say lands.
He says, there's even problems with the environment. Like we have a floating pile of trash in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Here's the reason why that joke is even funnier if you really actually look into it. And I'll pull this article up.
Because it actually is a floating pile of garbage.
So look it up yourself. But
I'm saying it is because I did look it up.
Puerto Rico trash problem. This has been a serious problem for a long time.
Yeah,
that Puerto Rico themselves would like to draw attention to it to get it solved.
Yeah, so we're looking at a picture of a beach just covered in garbage.
So you're
pretty
saying he
much.
did them a service by bringing attention to it.
Yeah.
From what I heard, and I didn't see this, but I heard that like the Puerto Rican government and several other prominent Puerto Ricans came out and were like, yeah, no, we're not offended by that at all. We're grateful that he's bringing light to this problem.
Yeah.
It's an actual problem that they
Really?
really
Wow.
have. All their landfills are to capacity, and they don't have anywhere to put trash, basically. They've been full for years. So
Isn't that funny?
isn't that great? Yeah, it's like, and then the left is just trashing him like he's
Yeah.
racist, and he's like, no, actually, this is a problem in Puerto
Yeah,
Rico. I
yeah.
don't know if you realize this, but it is a real problem.
Wow.
Well, and then the real kicker of that whole thing was that Biden turned around and said, well,
The
his
only trash I see is.
or his supporters or something like
man.
and then it was so political, and then that's when he comes out and he buys a garbage truck and.
that. Oh, Trump did, yeah.
I just want Trump to say Puerto Rico. Have you ever heard that one?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Our hearts are with Puerto Rico.
Who's
That
this
does sound
Rico
like it
guy?
would be. No, but that because I have kept wondering like what did it, because like Trump won so dramatically. He won every single state, or I shouldn't say won every state. In every single state in the union, he performed better than the last two times.
Except in Utah.
No, that's actually not true. He still did better in Utah, but half of Utah's counties he did worse in.
Okay, if I opened up this map and told you this is a map of the wealthiest places in America,
What would you say?
would you believe me?
Would I believe that it's a map of the wealthiest
Would you
places?
believe that I'm telling
Would
you a
you
lie?
believe-
What the?
If I showed you a picture of water on Mars,
Would you believe that
Would
this
you
is
believe
There you
water?
go. See? Right there. Click allow. Scroll
So
down.
here's
a
what I'm
little.
saying.
Yeah.
What if this is a map of the most, the wealthiest places are indicated in blue?
We know that it's not though, because you just
Shut up,
saw your
Phil.
Google.
Shut up, Jake.
What you're trying to say. Here's what you need to Google. Ready?
No,
Google U.S. election results 2024 by county.
no, it's right here. You can see the counties.
Well, you're just showing me California. You can see the whole country at once.
Oh, by counties?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
let me do that.
look at what that map looks like.
By counties. Jake's
Nationwide.
falling asleep. Wake up, Jake.
Now click images.
Okay? You need to teach me how to Google.
There, that second one.
Wow.
Or that one.
wow.
So
So if you look at this, you go, where are the wealthiest places in each state? And I'll bet you it's right where all these blue things are.
yeah.
Which
It's
is-
also population centers.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's definitely where the most people are.
Why would the wealthiest people vote?
No, I just thought it was interesting.
For-
So take Utah, for example.
Well-
Where are the wealthiest people? Summit County, Salt Lake County, and I don't know what the hell that blue county
It's
is.
Moab, which has got to be wealthier people.
Right. Okay. That's where all the money is in Utah, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Utah counties got a ton of money.
Yeah. If you got a lot of money, though. I'm talking real money.
Yeah.
And you look at the coast of California, it's like, where's all the money? It's all on the coast, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
I just-
Valley.
It's just
Oh,
interesting.
blue.
And then the populated places like Phil's saying, you know, like the Miami. You look at Miami, it's blue. You look at New York City and, you know, Albany, blue. All of New England's blue. But that's a
So
super
you-
heavily populated areas.
Well, and the one I still, I guess I do understand because it's Trump, but New Hampshire, when I lived in Boston, New Hampshire was ride or die Republican.
Really?
Their state motto is live free or die.
Yeah.
Like that was at least, and maybe that's just compared to Bostonians. They're like, oh, up in New Hampshire, they're so Republican up there, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're like pretty moderate. But I thought that
Well,
was
it's like the
interesting.
Democrats in Utah. It's like, not really.
Yeah, and you can see how much Maine though. I mean,
Nevada, obviously, Las Vegas is blue. Everywhere else is red.
Except for Tahoe.
Is that a county?
yeah, but Nevada went to Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's surprising actually because
Yeah.
everyone lives in Las Vegas, and
Yeah.
Well, and Colorado too. Look at how I thought Colorado was mostly liberal.
well, it's
like
just
a
Denver
Democratic.
pretty much, and
Well, these
I-
are all the most populous cities, right?
I think everything you
Counties.
see there that's
And
blue.
Oregon too. That really shocks me actually.
So Colorado, there's Fort Collins, Denver, and then off to the left, that's Boulder.
I
It's
think
all
that's pretty much all the mountains where that blue is, like all the pretty Park City-esque
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have been. So if you scroll up to the top left, so we're looking at Oregon and Washington, and only like the northwest corners of them are blue at all. The rest is all red.
Mhm.
And that makes sense because if you'll remember, we talked maybe a year or so ago because all the people in that red were wanting to merge with Idaho
Yeah.
and make a big, giant Idaho.
Which I was kind of shocked that there's any blue in Idaho. And it's, you know what that is? I think that's Sun Valley.
Might be.
Money.
That's a weird looking. I would have actually thought it was the county north of that, but maybe
I think
not.
that's Sun Valley.
Yeah, it could be.
And I looked through to find,
That's a
And it-
weird. That's a gerrymandered county. If you've
Oh.
ever seen one, look at that.
hell yeah.
It's
A
like,
lot of these are.
It's got like crooked arms on it.
So as far as I could tell,
Like someone
There's-
trying to vote.
Yeah.
there's only
Oh my god.
there's only 1 or 2 states that are all red.
What?
And no states are all blue.
Are there-
Oklahoma, all red.
Where? Which one's
Right
up?
there.
North of
the one that
Texas.
looks like the
Oh, it is. Wow.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Then the other one that I couldn't quite tell is West Virginia, the teapot.
Oh, yeah.
West Virginia.
Which is a terrible place to be. and
Really?
live.
West Virginia?
I've only driven
Mountain
through
Mama?
it one
No,
time.
it's really pretty.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Baltimore. No, I think in
No.
I drove through West Virginia one time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like old coal mine town.
Everyone in Maryland
No.
makes fun of everything about West Virginia.
Yeah,
it's,
it's
like
pretty
the,
dumpy.
the
I
armpit
really
of the East.
I
Apparently,
really liked West Virginia.
Oh, did you?
Even
What part did you go to?
Like around the DC area.
Oh,
I
okay.
did photo shoots out there for a few years.
Oh,
and
cool.
It's really pretty.
Well, and that would have been like the very tip
Especially in the
of
fall.
the bucket
yeah,
out there,
in
right?
the fall it was really pretty.
That
Yeah.
would be right where the tea's pouring out,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
I don't know why I drove through there on my way to Boston. Why would I have gone that way? That's like way lower, but maybe that's I-70 down there.
yeah, 70 goes from Utah straight through the center of the country,
Yeah, maybe that's how
and
I
then
went.
up. Well, it actually ends in Maryland.
Yeah, I told you guys before. I had an old Nike or Kyocera phone from Verizon, and I just typed in Boston on its like little
Oh yeah.
Verizon
yeah, I remember you
MapQuest.
telling the story.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. It was surprising. It's surprising how I don't know. It's just like surreal. I think it just makes you think like about the last election. Like, how did Biden get 82 million votes or 81 million?
Yeah.
And she only got up to what, like 72 this time?
Well, I was just pulling up
all the
that
dead people that
image.
voted.
Where is that image? Election results.
Biden and Trump last
year
time
over
around
year.
got significantly more votes than, I'm like totally out of the.
Oh, I thought Trump's was about the same. He got like 76 or
79 million, I think.
Last time he got 79?
Last time,
Oh.
I think.
I mean, it does make sense because they're both, and this was my theory before, is that Trump's actually worse because last election there wasn't January 6th, there wasn't all this other stuff. And Kamala was just horrible. Like, that's what I want to talk about more than anything. Every like political pundit you watch now, CNN, like YouTube clips, everybody on the left is like, what went wrong? And like you hear all these theories, and none of those theories are that Kamala was a bad candidate. It's Biden waited too long to step aside. They didn't focus on the middle class and blah, blah, blah. None of them were.
Kamala is terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the argument should be. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that probably was it. Like that.
You know, but I think they are chiming into the fact of like maybe they don't know exactly. I think there is a little bit of puzzlement from people of like maybe we're kind of out of tune with what's actually needed and wanted.
I think it's that, but like I said, none of them have even like postulated that possibility that she's just bad. That she was.
Do you think that's why she didn't win?
She was the worst. It was all over the media. She was the worst vice president in recent history. The worst rated.
Yeah.
Like her polling numbers were the lowest, and then suddenly they just picked her.
Well, I think the people that voted for her was what she like represented as far as like women's rights and like those types of categories that were very emotionally charged.
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't even matter who was in that position. Like it just was Kamala.
Well,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, if she was that, like, did you ever watch 30 Rock?
no.
Where
When do you find the time to watch all these shows?
well, that was like 20 years ago.
So what?
He had time back then.
Yeah.
I think you were like delivering mattresses like 20 hours a
Probably.
day back then. But
Martha Stewart.
but in that show, one of the main characters, Jack Donaghy, he's like a bigwig at GM.
Alec Baldwin.
And he wants to like impress his boss who owns GM. So he starts dating his daughter who's like 50, but she's like borderline non-responsive. She just like walks around like a child and like puts toys in her mouth and stuff like that. And I was thinking like, what if that person were on the left, you know, and people were like, I'm going to vote for a woman. I'm going to vote for this. Like, she would probably even do worse than Kamala. Like the principles and the issues can only get you so far.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you got to be like, that person can like do something.
Yeah. I think it came back to when we were talking about when the teleprompter went out and she like didn't know
31
what
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Like,
to say stuff.
yeah. Like you need to, if you're going to be in that position, you really do have to have some type of leadership skills.
substance.
Yes.
Well, and then there's the fact that she was put in charge of immigration, like the problem. And immigration was worse. And I mean, illegal entry into our country was worse than it's ever been. It was record breaking. That's all that was on the news like 6 to 8 months ago before they put Kamala in. And then once they put Kamala in, it was like ghost silence about that issue.
Well, and the fact that during her campaign that she was bringing up stuff of what she would do with the border. It's like, you could have been doing something this whole
Yeah,
time.
why didn't
Like,
you do
were
it?
like you were in charge of that pretty much.
Well, and Trump actually did good in the debate on that point because he's like, do it right now. You're still vice president.
Yeah.
Just let's quit
Do it
this
tomorrow.
debate and you can drive on up there and get it done.
Yeah.
Like,
But here's the thing that has been brought up, though, that I think is the truth. And that is that the message is falling on deaf ears at this point. Like, I think that the left is too woke, and I'm not saying that being woke is incorrect or there's not valid points there,
Yeah,
but they're
'cause they're
like
really-
way too far over there. You know, way too far on the environment, way too far on like this political correctness or, you know, gender situations. They're way too far on that, and people are so sick and tired of it. They don't even think that the American people want A, but they actually want D. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't a dick joke, by
Yeah,
the way.
choose a
They
different
really
letter.
just want the D.
Choose a different letter.
They actually
E.
want matches. No, but yeah, I agree. I think people, and obviously this is a huge vindication for Trump, like enormous. Not only because all his legal cases are being dropped, which is another hilarious subject all on its own, right? Because we've been talking like these legal cases are ridiculous. He's been saying all along they're biased. It's a witch hunt. It's political. What's the term he used?
Politically motivated.
Politically motivated, or it's like lawfare is what they've been calling it. Like
warfare, but lawfare.
Yeah, like pretty much Biden is using the law to win an election. And it's like, oh, okay, maybe this is just Trump talking. But as soon as he wins, they're like dropping all the cases. So
Which
now
is
it's
funny.
like, oh, it's not, he's not above the law. It literally was just to win an election.
Yeah.
And once you can't, it's like, yeah, we better drop all this.
Because if they
crap.
were smart and it was true, they would have kept the prosecution going
Exactly.
until January 20th when he becomes president and he can just, you know,
And then they
exonerate
can be
himself
like,
or
well,
whatever.
we were doing what was the law, but he fired us, you know?
Yeah.
That would be like the honor. If in their minds, they really were doing the right thing. They really were like, this is the law and nobody's above the law. They would hold it right to the very end and he would fire
Yeah.
him.
And if anyone in the world says, oh, that would just be a waste of time, that system is designed to waste time.
Exactly.
The whole thing is just
Yeah.
wasting time.
If anything, it would
bull crap.
embarrass him politically. Like, I don't know. It's just like so obvious that on every level. They're saying even the one he was convicted on, which is a state case, they're saying it's very likely that's just going to kind of disappear.
Yeah.
Like when he goes to get sentenced in a couple weeks, I don't know, they might slap a little fine, but they're actually saying that there's some good chance he might dismiss it completely. Like where before it was like, you're guilty, now I'm going to sentence you. Now it's going to just be like, I'm dismissing this because I can't sentence a potentially sitting president or whatever.
Wow.
Like, so it's, and it really could be that too. They're saying like constitutionally, it's such a gray area. Like you can't put the president in jail type thing. Like, so it's almost like if you do win the presidency, it is a get out of jail free card. Cause it's like you could murder someone, be on trial for murder, win the presidency. And it's almost like they're saying, well,
Hurry, run for president, the lawyer says.
it's almost like they're saying the vote of the people supersedes everything. You know what I mean? Like if everyone votes for you to be president, like you're going to be president. I don't know. I don't know if it's that extreme. I think most likely it's just evidence that all those cases were political. I mean, which I felt was obvious because of the timing. Like if they're not political, you would have charged him with all of those right after he got out of office.
Yeah.
Because all those cases are
Yeah.
from years even before he ran before.
I think it's turned into, it's being shown to light that it is a bunch of crap like you thought it was.
Yeah.
You're right, Phil.
I was right. See?
Is that what you want to hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
think
there is water on Mars.
that at least cancels out the little spat about the voting, writing in. or
You're doing
whatever.
okay?
Yeah.
We're better now?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I'm just telling you that doesn't count anymore. Like
Yeah.
we're equal again on that.
Okay. Well, I have a question. Have you guys been following the cabinet picks that he's been
A little
putting
bit,
in?
yeah.
Have you seen interviews and data about the borders are?
What's his name again?
Dick
Van
Fillmore?
Dyke?
No, I don't actually. Tom H. Homan. Tom Homan. Literally, it really is. Okay, I'm going to play some things for him, and I don't know if this is going to be the exact things I want to tell you, but He kind of scares me, to be
Oh,
honest
really?
with you. Oh yeah, this
What?
guy is no effing joke, and to the point of like border
you think
czar or border like SS.
Like you think, or like he's a
Way
Nazi.
to carry out mass deportation
Oh,
without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together. Look, I've seen some of these Democratic governors.
That's
That is
pretty intense.
Yeah.
Families can be deported
no.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man. Jake.
through President Trump's plan.
Oh.
Okay, ready? Here's another
I've been
one.
trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives.
This guy has just been announced as Donald Trump's new border
Oh, I
czar.
hate
So
people's
who exactly
opinions.
is Tom Homan?
Oh, I'm
Homan
just
is the former
realizing-
acting director of ICE during Trump's first term, who
Okay,
backed the
so I
controversial
actually
zero tolerance policy, which led to thousands of families being separated at the Mexico border. He's notable for his harsh stance and no-nonsense attitude on immigration, vowing to run, quote, the biggest deportation force this country has ever seen. Homan previously went viral for saying this.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
And having this confrontation.
Pullman.
But you work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Homan said he's looking forward to serving in the Trump administration as border czar come January.
He's a little bit
So
intense.
this might be the
Yeah.
guy. I think there's a clip of him arguing with AOC.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, and I actually thought he made the most sense. He's saying that if I arrest a mother for domestic violence,
Oh yeah.
the kids, she's going to be separated from her kids. She's committing a crime. Now, I think the other argument is like, well, coming into the country isn't a serious enough crime to be separated from your children over type thing. And I get that too. But it's
It's a good point to bring up, and he brings up the point of like, if I have a father with children in the car and he's pulled over for DUI and breaks the law, DUI, I'm separating the family.
yeah,
If I show up to a domestic disturbance call, I'm separating the family.
right.
That's what we do when people are committing crimes.
In fact, there's no crime I can think of where if you commit the crime, the kids can go with you to jail, right?
No, of course not.
Yeah. So
No.
if they have to apprehend people, I don't know. I don't know what because this one's funny too because Obama apparently his administration did the same thing. It was publicized a lot with Trump, but it wasn't like a brand new thing he invented. Like let's separate them from their kids.
Yeah, it's being spun.
And then Biden, I think, tried to soften that so that they kind of kept the families together, whatever. I don't know.
So they gave them hotel rooms to stay in and
Yeah.
closed
And I don't,
schools.
and
so
I
they
don't know
could-
either. I'd need more context on what he's saying about, well, of course there is. We deport the families together. Like after that, did he say, that's not what I'm advocating for or whatever?
No, 100%. He's
He-
dead serious. I
So
saw the whole
So
interview.
he's saying like, people come into the country illegally, they have children here.
Yeah.
And then if their parents should be deported,
The kids can
should
go
be
with them.
deported too.
Well, they can go with them, or they could go into Child Protective Services.
Yeah, that like I'm all for border protection. That one to me seems like a sticky gray area.
Yeah,
It's
that
like,
seems
what-
like a really
deporting people who are
already-
yes, they're here illegally, but they're abiding by the law otherwise. Right.
See,
they're
and-
working and supporting
Yeah.
their families, they're not committing crimes.
Well, even if like let's say they come here, they have kids. Those kids are citizens.
Yeah.
anchor babies.
Now, then dad murders 20 people.
Yeah.
So,
Well-
or mom and dad together, or there's only mom and she murders 20 people.
Blows up a house.
She
of
has to be
people.
deported.
Yeah.
I guess. I
Or
mean,
she
murder-
can go to prison for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
How serious is their living here? Like how negative of the experience has it been for the rest of the communities? It is a sticky thing, and it sounds terrible. I know back when Trump was elected in the last time, everyone was scared about Trump mass deporting because he talked about it. He wants to get rid of illegal immigrants, and it never really happened.
They're
Well-
bringing crime.
Let me tell you this. So
They're
they're
rapists.
this has been a hot topic at work, and because there's not agreements on all sides with this, which I understand both sides. It's a sticky situation. And the problem I think the thing that's being spun right now is there's like an estimated 17 or 18 million illegal immigrants. And so they're talking about mass deportation. And what do you think right away? 5, 10, 15 million people leaving the country all on the same day? It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the same year, it's impossible. You physically could not mass deport like that. However, J.D. Vance said it best. And the truth is, I don't think they have an exact plan, but they need to do something about it. That's their attitude. And I think J.D. Vance said it best. He's like, well, we can't just mass deport everybody at the same time, but we could start with 1 million per year. That's a lot of people. But let's just start with the criminals.
Yeah.
Like there's people that get caught committing crimes that are illegals. Let's deport them. And I'm kind of like, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah,
They bring
totally get on board with
fentanyl
that.
to Utah.
Yeah, exactly.
Jake's really about the fentanyl.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
yeah, I don't know.
And frankly, there should be a system where it's like, yeah, I see what you're saying, Phil. Like if somebody's selling drugs and they're caught and they get broken up from their family, like I have less empathy for that situation. If it's a random like knock on the door and separate the family, I have a hard time thinking that's going to happen.
I don't think that would ever happen.
I think that if they found somebody, for example, and they're like, oh, this is an illegal alien, but they're running a business, they're paying their taxes, like they're paying rent, they're following the law, they're not committing crimes, like, hey, we're going to help you with this situation. I think that would make some more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, not to dehumanize the situation, but this is going to dehumanize it. Like, just look at it from a cost perspective. If the parents come into the country, in theory, they're committing the crime by coming into the country, so you could arrest them and deport them, or they sell drugs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do separate them, now you have to take care of these kids. Now you have to pay for the foster programs and their schooling and all that. And probably produce citizens, not to say that there aren't fantastic people that come out of like the foster programs or whatever, but I hear that it's horrible. Like
It's
that's
tough. It's
a rough thing to come up in. So then you're just almost kind of guaranteeing that maybe they're not going to turn out so good. I don't know.
I hate to say this too, because this is going to dehumanize it as well, is that at what point do people stop being victims and are actually controlling their own lives and making decisions that lead to a certain situation? Yeah. Like you knowingly crossing the border and coming into a country illegally. Now, I'm not in agreement with everything, but at some point it needs to be against the law.
Yeah. Maybe the solution is actually here you go. I've solved it. Ready?
No.
That's what we do.
Wow.
People get into the country, they're good. Like
I actually thought of
they
this,
made it. You got here, so you're good.
Amnesty.
Your amnesty. As long as you don't, even if you break the law or whatever, you break the law, you go to jail just like everyone else. Once you're over that line, you're an American. But we do like the most amazing propaganda thing
Gladiator
for
competition.
all of South America. Everything south of the Mexican border is like, they're shooting women and children at the border, like, don't go there, like type thing. Just total propaganda to just stem that
That
from
makes
happening.
sense.
You know what I mean?
Your idea sucks. Have you ever heard of the internet, Phil? That would last 2 seconds.
We'll hack it all. We'll just they
Freaking
look at
idiots.
what freaking Democrats have done. Like, haven't you talked to like a person who's really hard left, and they're like, "Oh, they said blah blah." blah. You know what I mean? Like, and you're like,
No.
"Whoa, didn't you hear that is proven not to be true like 5 years ago?" You know what I mean?
Phil,
They do it in our own country.
it's not going to work.
With united effort, they could certainly do it. It's not going to universally work. Some people are going to be wise to it.
Yeah.
But you could probably stem.
Probably get a few people out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got
Okay.
Hollywood and all that. We could make it
Yeah.
look really good.
We can make it look like we landed on the moon.
We could make it look like there's just a lake of lava in the way, and just like people are just like falling in it, like trying
Okay.
to swim on fire. You know what I mean?
We could have Mr. Beast make a video about it.
Yeah.
And then they'd see it.
And then, like I said, if you're smart enough to figure it out and get in here and you get past the guards or whatever, you're good.
Okay. Here, getting back to reality.
Uh-huh.
I actually think this might be happening because I heard a couple other news reports. There's a possibility they're playing a massive poker hand right now, which is Trump's coming into office, mass deportation. We're going to kick your asses because there's actually caravans of people that are coming to the border. They're turning around and going back. There's people in America now that are actually leaving the country.
Yeah.
To record levels, to the point where it's like, just kidding. We're not going to do all that, but we are going to start working on this now that millions of people have left.
Have already,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if you were in that position, if I was in that position with my family, I would rather leave right now on my own determinism than getting kicked out by something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're at like a high risk of
Mm-hmm.
being deported like that, you know?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that they might be pushing it really, really hard. Like, we're going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, when it all boils
Yeah.
down to it, it's up to Congress anyway, like how they do it.
Yeah.
And I actually, people don't realize this, but you go from Bush to Obama to Trump to Biden. Immigration policy across the board is actually almost identical.
Yeah.
Like there's very small changes. Obama famously built more wall than Trump did. He was in there 8 years, granted, but and then Trump was building more wall or whatever, but then Biden stopped that.
Right.
So what Biden did was actually out of character for his own party. And they had to because they were demonizing Trump for this thing that everybody was on board with before that. And I blame Hillary for that. I think it was like, oh, here's this idiot Trump. We have to pin him on something. He's a racist. Walls are racist. Deportations are racist, even though she was a part of making all that stuff happen for the last 30 years, and her husband and all that.
I've always thought that it was a bunch of bullcrap because I've heard this theory that, they want illegal immigrants in so that they can vote for the Democrats, right? I've heard that before, but I'm like, how does that work? Until this year, I saw a video of a Canadian that came over the border from Canada on voting day, on election day, and voted because he voted in a state that didn't require what's it called?
Voter
ID.
And I hadn't even thought of it that way either. Like because when I look at, and that's a real thing. We were just texting about this with some buddies, and they're like, that's not true. You can look up California, say, do I need voter ID? Do I need to bring ID to vote in California?
Yeah.
And right there it says in most cases, you do not need to bring ID.
Mm-hmm.
And
crazy.
if you do need to bring ID, a copy of what was it?
7-Eleven receipt.
A utility bill.
Yeah, a piece of mail with your
can
address.
be a form of ID.
That is absurd.
I thought so.
Well, the Governor Newsom of California passed an executive order making it illegal for counties to require ID to vote.
Yeah.
If a conservative county wants to require ID to vote, it's now illegal.
I love how this is a conservative idea now. Like, we're going to verify that you're an American before you vote.
Isn't that absurd?
It's absurd.
And I never thought of it that way. Like, what's to stop somebody in France who has a passport, visa, whatever, they can come to the States to just come here on vacation, go to a state that doesn't require ID and vote.
Yeah.
But I guess in California's instance, you do have to have a copy of a utility bill.
So what? You can find one of those on the ground.
Or just make one
can
up.
make one.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah.
Unless it's like France R Us Utilities Incorporated and the polling workers like, I'd never heard of this company. Like, how likely is that they're going to be like, I got to look into this? They're probably like, there's a huge line. Oh, you brought what was required. Go ahead and vote.
Now, this is born here in California.
Yeah.
This is totally on the rumor. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that Kamala Harris didn't win a single county in the entire United States that required voter ID.
Oh,
I saw the map that it was red and blue. It was the red and blue map, but it had overlay all the blue states were no voter ID required or
And
no
they were
photo
all
ID
blue?
required. Yeah, and they were all blue.
Yeah. See, I go back though, and this is anecdotal, because I think that what you're kind of getting at is like there should be way less Democrats. It just doesn't make any sense. But it does seem to be in my life anyway that about half the people I know are either pushing right or on the right or vice versa. They're on the left or really, really hard left.
Yeah.
So it's not such a surprise to me that half the country is left and half is right, if that makes sense. So
Population wise, yeah.
but sometimes, at least with these last few elections, in particular, Kamala and Biden and Hillary, those three people were all the very worst possible candidates for that party. And so it has been a surprise to me that those three got votes, but I think it goes back to like people are voting for the issues and for those type of things more than the candidate. But it seemed like not too long ago, like you look at the map for Ronald Reagan, it's like 100% of the country. And it wasn't because 100% of the country is Republican now. It's like people voted for the candidate back then, not the party, but who's this guy's obviously smarter and better to run the country than that
They
idiot.
voted on policy, not party.
Yeah, well they voted on just a person who literally was like better. You know what I mean? Two people debate. There's a moron. That guy is a leader. And it's hard to say that with this time because you could actually look at both candidates, I think, and say there's something seriously wrong with each of them. But
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it used to be the whole country would flip. You know what I mean? Like the whole country would vote for Bush, or the whole country would vote for Clinton. And then all of a sudden it was like, and the whole country voted for the next Bush. And then with Obama, it kind of split, and then it split worse and worse until now it's just like a coin toss. Like we've kind of been wedged into this hard 50% thing that it hasn't ever been before. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And I think some of it's manufactured too.
Like they want it that way. Because that's going to lead to like civil war, most likely. Like China wants it that way.
It is mutually beneficial when you have two competitors that are bumping heads. You know, Coke and Pepsi. You know, and these two things clashing, but both parties can benefit in different ways.
Yeah,
it's easier to sway public opinion if you can politicize anything with a color that's red or blue.
And if you're also willing for a minute to go, okay, Pepsi, you guys go win for a while and then swing it back to us.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
kind of what I've thought. Like the true powers are behind the puppets.
Yeah.
And we're all talking about that right now.
You sponsor the Super Bowl halftime show this year, and next year it'll be Coke.
Yeah. But yeah, and I go back to like, if the Republicans picked any other candidate, they probably would have blown Kamala out of the water. I hope
they would have done better.
I hope
parties
so anyway.
Are not good at selecting candidates,
and vice versa.
That people want.
Yeah, really. I honestly sometimes wonder. I'm like, how did we end up with these candidates?
Yeah,
like there's got to be people out there that are smarter and more qualified, and it is just like this. This is what we have.
There got to be like I've liked RFK, but he's had some baggage. I'm like, there got to be 100 RFKs that are just like normal, good people that didn't cheat on their wife, that don't have like some weird conspiracy.
I kind of
thing.
feel like all the people that get like, I do believe that there are probably some people that go in that are with good intentions, and then once you get infiltrated, it's so much. There's so much murk going on in it. That
I think a lot of it has to do with lobbyists. Like, oh, this candidate is going to support my industry more than anybody else, so we're really gonna dump money into this guy. We're gonna advertise, about this guy, and
I've thought that too. I've thought like, a new senator probably runs on like, we're going to get in there and clean it up, blah, blah, blah. And then they get in and like another senator pulls them aside and like, good for you. Let me show you how it really works.
Yeah.
Like, try your best, but
you have to be a player to the system to even play.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly. It's like you can be a hardliner and blah, 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 but look, this is what will happen. And they're
You got to
probably like,
cater
okay.
to the party and not the state that you're representing.
Yeah,
Right.
I bet it's way more
It
complicated.
should be the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. And we'll see if they can do anything to fix it.
This has been the After Party Podcast.
But Donald Trump won. It was a surprise. It wasn't.
Yeah. I feel like it was just watching like the people that I know way more devastating, I guess, on just people freaking out about it.
See, I've almost felt like they freaked out worse the last time.
Really? Maybe it was just people I know personally, but like people having
maybe.
panic attacks and like just
really?
like all of these, and like people
amazing.
deleting Facebook and
Women
just
withholding
really
sex.
Oh, that was the best
That was the best. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
No.
It's hilarious.
So there's like a group, I can't remember, but I think they were like
Feminazis, basically.
It's
They're like ultra feminists.
there's like some kind of online petition that they're signing that's like if your boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever was a Trump voter, you're gonna withhold sex from them or something like that. Was that what it was?
It was basically, there's a Reddit forum that's gaining a lot of popularity. That's basically like, we'll give them what they want. We're going to withhold sex and blah, blah, blah. And basically it was communicating, and I'm going to sum it up in my words, which is like, we're no longer going to make them wait till marriage and all this stuff, right? And it's like, wow, you're pro-life now. Like, I don't know what to say. This is amazing. It's like, we're going to show those guys by keeping our legs crossed or something like that. It's like, this all sounds good. Like, I don't know what the problem is. No more promiscuous sex.
It was so bizarre. I really
That'll
felt
last
like they were
3
saying
days.
like there's not going to be any sex in America until a blue president is elected again. Or
It's
something like
amazing.
that.
It's amazing.
What's funny is all the compilations online of all of the liberals freaking out,
Yeah.
crying and screaming and throwing temper tantrums as
But I had-
adults.
Yeah.
I had a couple
I think-
real
That's
life
entertaining.
things that I observed, though. One, I witnessed a conversation between these two ladies that was basically like, oh, you can stock up on the Plan B pill, has like a 4-year shelf life. And so I think you can get a prescription for it and you can get like a year supply of it from a doctor.
gosh.
And I'm like, can you leave the end of the world hoarding to the Republicans, please? Because we've been doing that for 100 years.
Isn't that so funny? And see, stuff like that. It's like there are people that believe that Trump is
It's going to stop.
end
Yeah, I think that is
Plan
why
B.
Birth control.
a lot of the people that I knew that were freaking out was over that type of stuff. And I don't know, from what I've seen, what JD Vance, what he was saying is that it should be really down to a state thing
Yeah.
instead of federally
Yeah.
regulated.
Yeah.
Like, just because each state is different in the way that they handle it, and it's a very complicated subject, and so it should be handled more on a state level instead of federally.
And everyone's different. Like there's
Yeah.
different immigrants from different places. There's different religions in different places. It's so diverse. America is so diverse that each area does have its own unique whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The weird one, and I don't know if this is, I couldn't remember if this had passed in a state or some people in a state wanted it, but they were talking about making it like if you lived in this Florida, for example, and it's illegal to have an abortion, if you left the state to have an abortion, that they would prosecute you when you came back or something. I don't know if
seems
that's just
weird.
like left talking or if that's actually a thing, but that's where I would draw the line.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
would
think-
say like, yeah, you've got states' rights, but like you can't quote unquote smoke weed in Utah, even though everyone smokes weed or whatever. But if you go to California and smoke weed, like Utah's going to prosecute you when you come back, or I guess if you bring
something like that.
It's a fuzzy situation. If you're on parole in Utah and then you go to California and smoke weed legally, air quotes,
Yeah.
and then you come back and take a piss test and you fail it, you still suffer the consequences.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that like if it's legal in one state, it should be legal in that state.
Or like if you drink alcohol in Nevada and blow a .06 and their blood alcohol level is 0.08, and you cross the border into Utah and it's 0.05 here,
yeah.
you're illegal.
Yeah, but abortion's different because you get it done there and it's done. It'd be like you going to Nevada, drinking, you're way drunk, but then you sober up and come back and they find out about it.
I honestly lost track of what I was even arguing. I'm on your side. I'm on your side 100%.
We're all on the same team.
I think that if a woman should be able to, that's the thing I love about the whole state system is that you want to smoke weed, go to a state that it's legal.
Yeah.
Live there, support their economy, do their game.
Yeah.
And suffer the consequences that come with that. If you don't want church and state to be heavily involved with each other, don't live in Utah then. Go to another state. Some people actually enjoy that, right?
Yeah.
Just like people enjoy, being able to get abortions, and people like to smoke weed, and other people like to not pay sales tax, and other people like to not have income tax for their state. It's just there's so many different places you can choose where you go.
Yeah.
You're not bound to a state.
Yeah, abortion was a big one. At least they thought it would be. Like they were hitting that hard. And this election kind of goes to show like what they suspected is that younger generations care about it less or are actually more pro-life, I guess, than past generations. Because if it was such a horrible, important thing, they would have won in a landslide. Like we've got to legalize abortion all around. I don't know. Like I still feel like I think they need to make a constitutional amendment with abortion and just say this is how it's defined. And I think at the very least it needs to be like rape and incest and the life of the mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because some of the states have been a little crazy. They're like, no, absolutely no abortion ever. It's like, what? Like,
yeah. And then some they allow like very late term abortions.
Yeah.
And
that's weird too. Well, I think it's I don't know.
You don't even know.
I think that the abortion thing is made out to be a bigger deal than it really is. I don't hear everybody talking about it, and maybe it's just because we're in such a conservative space, but like it's not a hot topic.
Yeah, I feel like around
typically.
here, because there are mostly conservative people around here, so I think around the nation it is probably a bigger.
Well, and I've talked to people where it is, and I guess I don't understand why it is, because you can get an abortion. Like, and apparently you do have to go to some states or whatever. Like you might have to travel a little bit. I'm okay with that. I'm like, it should be, and I think almost universally is a big deal. Like there aren't a lot of women who are like, get that thing out of me. It's probably a pretty like serious like thing. They're like, it's probably hard in almost every situation. You know what I mean?
I think regardless too, if you're in that situation, whether like you feel abortion's the way to go or like placing your child for adoption, like either way, that is going to be
difficult.
Yeah.
I do think that the problem that I personally have with it is I think it's a very poor idea to use it as a contraceptive, right word?
Yeah.
Like birth as birth control or a method of not having children.
Yeah.
Because at that point it's like, well, that's too late. If you are fully capable of having a child, your preventative measures have gone. And I think that's the problem is people use it as a reason to be able to have promiscuous sex. And they can just go have sex however they want. If they get pregnant, they just have an abortion. There's a problem I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Now, if there's safety concerns or there's issues that way, I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
There's accidents that happen. I totally understand that too. But I do think there's a decent amount of people out there that are just like, just F whoever I want, and then I can just go to Planned Parenthood and get it taken care of.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
And see, that's the one I wonder about. Maybe there are, but I think that's like such a minority of people. Like they're probably such a low percentage that are that think about it that way. They're just like,
that's what I'm saying. I think it's brought up constantly.
Yeah.
Put in our face. It's kind of like the amount of people that want to be called different, pronouns. It's a very small percentage of people, but for some reason, it's what everybody talks about, So.
Yeah, it's interesting that was kind of proven to not be so effective. It was interesting too to see how ineffective all the like propaganda was. Trump's gonna ruin democracy and our country's gonna end and all that stuff. Like I was actually really happy. Like I've said on the podcast, I'm not too thrilled about Trump these days, but I was thrilled about that. Like oh, we are still alive. We're not just like mindless people. Oh, New York Times said devil, and then just go about our day. Like people actually tune that stuff out or actually are actively disagreeing. Maybe, and who knows? Maybe Trump is going to be the next Hitler. I don't know, but
he's gonna change what we all knew about him and become Hitler.
But you mentioned these cabinet picks. It's so interesting, and I don't know if this is just because I'm getting old and like more in tune with politics.
Yeah,
but for the first time ever, I know who all these people are.
I know, me too.
Isn't that weird? Like they're picking this person. I was like, wow, I actually know. All these people. I've not only know about them, but like Mike Huckabee. I'm like Mike Huckabee.
Yeah,
and probably a younger person would be like, who the heck is that? So yeah, I don't know.
Here's some of the
older
ones.
version of Zuckerberg.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that too. That it looked like Zuckerberg. Yeah.
So some of the notable ones: Director of National Intelligence, which is like the via between CIA and FBI, I believe, is Tulsi Gabbard.
You know what's so hilarious about that?
What?
Were you going to bring this up?
Nope.
Tulsi Gabbard was put, according to her, on the terrorist watch list.
Yeah.
And had been stopped at like 3 different airports.
For what?
Because she switched from Democrat to Republican.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Now she's in charge?
Now she's in charge of those people. That's what's so hilarious about that.
And then John Radcliffe, who looks a lot like, what's his name from The Office?
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell.
Yeah.
It looks like, this picture looks like he just said, that's what she said.
Yeah.
So that's the CIA director. I don't know anything about him. Doug Burgum. I don't know that name.
Guy.
Secretary of the Interior.
I don't know what Secretary of the Interior is either.
Kristi Noem. I think,
yeah.
She's the Dakota governor, right? Yeah, South Dakota. She is Secretary of Homeland Security. Then there's this guy. He is Michael Waltz, National Security Advisor. Don't know him. Pete Hegseth.
And I actually hadn't heard of this guy.
Defense Secretary.
Apparently he's on Fox News.
So this was really funny. This started, I had kind of an argument with a person in real life, IRL. And it was simply, they hired a Fox reporter to be the Department or Defense Secretary. I'm like, there's got to be more to him than he's a Fox reporter, and there's a lot to him.
He's a Marine veteran, right?
No,
or
U.S. Coast Guard major.
Coast Guard.
Well, the one I was reading today was he's got a swastika on his chest.
It's a birthmark. Just kidding.
No, it's like a Middle Ages Christian cross or something like that.
Like I
think they call it the Jerusalem cross, actually.
Yeah.
Which is the exact opposite of the swastika.
That's what's so funny.
Yeah. Anyway, there's some interesting. This guy, Tom Holman, like I said, he's a little intense. I think it's kind of freaky, actually.
See, I didn't get that impression, but we'll see.
Watch some more videos with him.
Yeah.
There are a lot of women in his cabinet for being a sexist.
Yeah, I think he should fix that.
Sexist, racist.
Just kidding. Secretary of Veteran Affairs, Doug Collins. Don't know him. But anyway, RFK. What is he in?
Department
of
Health
and Human Services.
I am actually excited about that.
I'm looking forward to see what happens with that.
Yeah, me too.
I am too. Some part of me suspects that they're going to get in and be like, oh, probably okay what they're doing mostly. I don't know. Maybe
think that
not.
they'll make that big of a change?
Like the big arguments like Red 40 or whatever. Like, oh, they've outlawed Red 40 in Europe.
Finally.
It's like, well, they've outlawed everything in California, but we still use almost all of it. Like, I don't know.
Now everything just has a warning in California.
Yeah.
It's known to cause cancer.
I saw a wonderful bumper sticker. It said, Californians are known to cause cancer in the state of Utah.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great.
No, but
That's funny.
But I am excited to see because if a lot of that stuff in our food is bad, I'd like to get it out. But more than that, I would like him to sever all these like lobbyist ties with the government. Like if he could expose a lot of that and be like, because I don't know if you guys read his book, The Real Anthony Fauci or whatever. It was full of stuff that's like, Anthony Fauci got paid by this company and owns stock in this and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy should be in prison. And then it turns out Fauci hasn't filed any lawsuits against him. Nobody's like, no news thing has said he lied in his book about Fauci.
Right.
Yeah, they're just not
it's
talking
like
about
crazy.
it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, this is nuts.
They could put Martha Stewart in jail, but they
Exactly.
Fauci runs free.
Exactly. So it'd be interesting if he exposes a lot of that stuff and like highlights it, and they kind of shift how all that works.
He's basically said the FDA is basically just a corrupt bullcrap system.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not that it should be gone, but I think drastically changed.
Well,
I agree with that.
I heard the other day that 1/3 of every drug or chemical that the FDA approves ends up getting, I might be wrong on this year, but I know it's 1/3 gets recalled within like the first 5 to 7 years or something like that.
Wow.
So 1/3 of the things they're approving, they end up recalling because they're like killing people
not
or
good
getting
odds.
cancer.
Yeah.
Really isn't. It's like almost like it shouldn't even exist if it's that bad.
Like Ozempic?
Yeah. Well, I always, not really crack up, but when they're the commercials for the drugs, and then they're like side effects, maybe exploding lung.
Yeah.
Like you may like all of these like horrible
blindness, tumors, even cancer, or
but you'll
death.
be able to hold in your pee. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
SNL jokes about that kind of stuff all the time. 'Cause
Happy
it's
Fun Ball.
humorous.
Remember that? Happy Fun Ball. The kid like the whole commercial is like a kid throws a ball to the other, and they're like, "Happy Fun Ball. Happy Fun Ball may cause blah 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 blah."
Yeah, and
Happy
it goes
Fun
on
Ball
for
is
like
currently
10
being dropped in
minutes.
Afghanistan by it's like all this
Be
stuff.
sure to talk to your physician about.
The one that kills me, that's a real side effect that comes up, I swear, all the time is anal leakage. I could deal with any condition but that one.
Yeah.
Anal leakage, Phil.
Yeah. Exactly.
Put that down in the title.
Well,
of the
yeah,
next episode.
and I think,
Anal leakage.
and we've talked a lot before about like medications and like kind of the seeming corruption, and like the fact that like a lot of medications end up getting used like not even what they were designed for. Like
Like Ozempic.
yeah, is that true? Was that something
Ozempic
else?
is a diabetes medication,
Oh, really?
legitly, but like it's being prescribed to people now
Just to
for
lose
severe
weight.
weight loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it curbs your
Oh,
appetite.
yeah.
Interesting.
So
Yeah. We'll see
anyway,
what
none of
happens.
this matters. Doesn't matter what we do on the border with our Health and Food Administration. None of it matters. The only
Because
reason
Hitler is president now.
The only reason that we are excited, and I'm including all three of you in this, for Trump being president, is that he has said more than once he's going to release all the JFK files
Oh yeah.
on day one. So we're going to get
He said that
together.
on Rogan, right?
He said it a couple times now that he's going to release all the files on the John F. Kennedy assassination.
Yeah.
And I was it you that was just telling me that people suspect that the Bushes were actually behind
Yeah,
it?
there's a conspiracy theory out there that Bush Sr. was behind the planning of the assassination.
And that would
of Kennedy.
and because
well,
Trump
wasn't he the? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say Trump told Joe Rogan that he's like, it's time. We should release him. He's like, we haven't yet because it's like some people are still alive that it might affect. That's what
Yeah.
I was asking Jake, and he's like, well, yeah, it might actually be the Bushes.
Because wasn't he
Yeah.
president of the FBI during the time?
Yeah, I don't know. Was he?
69, was it? 68,
69,
No
I
idea.
think.
67. I don't
I
actually
don't
know.
know.
Can we? Let's Google it.
There's
because
no
if
way
I'm
we'll ever
correct,
know.
I'm
Who
gonna pat
killed
myself on the back,
JFK?
actually.
Which president killed RFK?
1960.
JFK.
It's
Yeah,
1963.
63 is when he.
November
60
22nd,
yeah, 69 said
1963.
is when.
Well,
we
he
go to
got
the moon.
killed in 63. So he
I typed
wasn't.
in when was JFK shot? November, unless he was shot before he was killed.
So he didn't get to see the moon landing, allegedly.
Yeah, they were still editing
George
special effects.
Bush.
Oh, it was the CIA.
Oh yeah,
CIA,
so
he was
that's
CIA director.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Still, that's a
Okay,
big
so-
deal.
Because RFK has said like a bunch that he thinks the CIA did it.
Yeah.
Well, they said that on X Files.
And see, that would make sense because he's dead, right?
Who?
Yeah.
Senior.
Senior died in 2018,
Mhm.
but Junior is still around, and that's
Yeah.
probably who he's talking about.
There are people who are alive. that
Yeah.
it would impact negatively.
Yeah, and poor guy, like everyone hates him already.
Who?
So, George Junior.
Oh,
George Bush.
George
Jr.
Bush. Yeah.
So yeah, that would be a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be fascinating. And like,
He always has to one up his dad with 9/11.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, because he did that.
Yeah.
No, but wow,
My dad killed Kennedy. I'm gonna.
my mind is getting
We're gonna-
blown right now because not only is it like if he was responsible, it's like then we elected him president. Like we should have known about that. Like how did no one in the
I feel
CIA
like-
come out?
Yeah, that
For
will
some
just be
reason-
like a domino effect of like a political shit wave. Of
Oh,
like,
Yeah.
Well, think about it this way. Like I have these weird nonfiction or fiction like ideas of like how Trump's presidency is going to go, and one of them is what you just said, where it's like, hey, by the way, look who killed JFK. He's
Yeah.
still alive. He was elected. These are his friends. Here's what's going on, and everyone's
Yes.
just like,
Yeah.
like pulls the veil. Yeah.
Oh my!
and then they
gosh.
move to Puerto Rico and live in a landfill.
It's like an Epstein event.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Trump's talked about draining the swamp. I have no idea if that could really happen. Of like just, but you can imagine it's a huge incest pool of like the craziest shit you can think of.
yeah.
Even if it's minor and it's not even like killing JFK, but like weird financial stuff all
Yeah.
over the place.
Well, I think when
and-
people go kind of attack Trump for stuff that he's done, like he has, I don't like what he said about women and like how, you know, that type of thing. But I feel like anyone probably in that pool of being high up politically has done just
Yeah.
as bad
Something
of stuff.
terrible.
one of the
Yeah,
things I
something
said to my
terrible.
friend who's not a Trump supporter at all, I said to her, I said, I don't like the things Trump has said, and I think he's a total asshole, and
Yeah,
it's
agreed.
inappropriate. But I know that he did and said those things. I'm worried about these people that look like they've never done anything before.
Yeah.
Because I'll bet you their crimes are even way more heinous, and they've covered them up so well that like that's creepy to me. Like if this guy's speaking terribly about women, okay, I've heard worse actually in just
Yeah.
my daily life. Yeah,
With
they
friends,
they didn't become presidents, you know. They were just Jake while we're camping.
right?
Yeah.
But like
All the time.
it's
Every time.
what I'm getting at
every
is like at least his crap is out on the table, pretty observable. Where if you're like, what's going on with Obama's? Well, no one really knows.
Well,
Yeah, Trump's is out on the table since he was in like show business for so long.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, and-
like you, yeah.
Since he ran for president in 2016, all of his dirty laundry has been put out for
Yeah.
everyone to see.
and the
And
Clintons,
it's still not bad enough for, you know, and he's president.
and then like the Clintons, it's like, yeah, he had sex with an intern, but like apparently that's all fine now or something. You know what I mean? Everything looks fine. They're totally like publicly clean. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
I think there are a lot of people who are crapping their pants that Trump won
Yeah.
because, you know,
Oh, they are.
He's-
Haven't you seen the like night show hosts that are like, I'm packing my bags, like they're coming after me, like
Yeah.
Colbert's like they're gonna come get me, like gonna come get you.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You're some like fugitive from justice now or whatever. Like,
Yeah. Now here's another thing that and we're starting to run late, but it doesn't matter to me because Phil wants to talk about politics all night. Freaking jerk. But this is so funny. I was looking up videos and articles about the war is ending, right? Like the Ukraine war and then also Hamas.
calls for a ceasefire
the day after Trump right?
becomes gets elected.
It says it's misleading. It has nothing to do with each other. Hamas has not come out and said because Donald Trump was elected, and the Israel leader doesn't say, well, because now that Trump's elected, we're changing. So they are like separate items, but at the same time, it's like, come on, it's pretty coincidental.
Yeah.
That'd be like finding a ton of baby oil in a rapist's house.
Right?
It's like, I know it's not like the same, but it's kind of coincidental.
We're going back there.
Phil, I'm never giving up on
I
this.
just don't know what you would use the baby oil for.
I'm going to tell you after. I'm going to tell you after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He
I do
would
not
put it
wanna
in the
be involved
hallway
in that.
tile and push people into his bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Midgets.
I think it's just
Push
like
midgets.
Imagine the terror.
Midget slip and slide.
Can't stop.
I think it's just to pour on people so they look glisteny in the music video.
No.
Yeah,
That's my guess.
that's it.
No.
He's actually the executive producer of that Chinese show where they try to climb up the stairs. It's all oily. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah, Squid Game.
No,
No.
that's
But-
Korean.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, did we
Thanks for.
did we do anything
fixing
today?
America.
Did
I
we
don't
fix
know.
it?
Phil fixed. a
Did
couple
we
things.
cause this? Like, did the election happen because of what we did?
Probably.
I think
Like,
so.
Yeah.
on the show?
Yeah.
Like,
Did we convince everyone to vote for Trump?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because,
Oh.
Everyone just listens to us and does
Let's
whatever we
just-
say.
Google before and after.
Yeah. Before the American Forked.
Google
how many voters?
what caused Trump to win the election, and it
Before
will
and
say
after.
American Fork
I
Podcast.
think it
before
was-
and after female astronaut.
I think it was because on the last episode I put Kamala's laugh tailing off. Did you hear that at the end?
yeah.
Like with spooky
Oh,
like reverb
yeah.
or whatever.
I did hear that.
And people were
actually.
probably like, "That's what I'm gonna hear for 4 more years," and then
Alright, and
that's
then-
why Trump won.
I'm just not looking forward to the anti-Trump stuff again for the next 4 years.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's gonna. My impression is that it's actually better than it was in 2016. In 2016, they were like, every university has created safe spaces for poor people that are just
They were
losing
scared.
it, and like antidepressants are going up 5,000% and all this stuff. And I was like, this is insane. This time, there's like a little bit of that. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm not getting it like I was before.
Yeah, I
but-
feel like I'm seeing it more this time
Oh,
than I
really?
did last time. But
Huh.
who knows? I feel like it's always intense at the beginning during a transition, and then it's going to taper off. Everyone's going to be like, see that it's going to be another 4 years. We've
Yeah.
lived through the last 4 years. Like,
I just want human trafficking to be a point of attention.
No, yeah, I don't know if he's
Wasn't
talked about
during
that
Biden,
much.
but Trump has
Oh, has
come
he?
out and talked about all the people that have been, had a hand in curbing that, and he wants to do more to eliminate human trafficking.
He's going to hire that guy we talk about all the time. What's
he
his
talked
name?
about Tim Ballard.
Tim
He
Ballard?
thanked him
Oh,
for
he
his
did,
work
really?
that he's done. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Tim Ballard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because there's controversy around
Yeah.
him, too. So,
Yep. Well, Phil,
interesting.
thanks for fixing America. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
You're
Phil.
welcome.
Oh.
I don't know if it's fixed. It might. You know what'll be the kicker is like Inauguration Day. What happens there? Is there going to be a January 12th?
Yeah. With knitting needles?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Knitting
funny
needles, coat hangers.
how Kamala
Oh my gosh.
made it a point in her concession speech to say we're going to have a peaceful transition.
See, and
presidency.
say what you will, but that's like that actually made that whole thing, especially with Biden inviting him to the White
Yeah.
House, made Trump look pathetic.
I will
Because-
agree, actually.
Because if anything else, if Trump he could have said the election is stolen, whatever. But if he actually kept the process going, but if you'll remember, he stonewalled them. They didn't have any type of transition. Biden had to get in like
Yeah.
cold
that
turkey.
was-
And that was bad. And it looks even worse now that in kind they did what they were supposed to do. And
So wait,
Yeah.
did you fix America or not? Because it sounds like you ruined it.
yeah, I probably did
Okay.
actually.
Well,
Wait. Are we ending?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Well,
have-
we do need a.
would you like to say the
Oh,
closing?
go ahead.
I would like to say the closing prayer. If I can. Also, my kids think it's pretty cool that we do a podcast, and so they wanted me to do a shout out to them.
Oh, shout out
Lincoln,
to Amber's kids.
Luke,
What's up, Lee?
Liam,
What's up, Luke?
Audrey.
What's up, Liam? What's up, Audrey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for lending us your mom for so many hours today.
I know, a lot of
Wait,
hours.
the babysitter is doing well at your house.
My kids hate me.
Your kids
so
Oh, yeah.
what's up,
They don't even
kids?
care. My kids will be in the truck and like it's paused on the screen or whatever.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, why does your podcast have an E by it? Why is your podcast explicit, Dad?
Why are you looking at me so hard?
I'm like, how do you know it's explicit? They're like, it says it has an E right there. I'm like, why do my kids know that?
Then you say E for everyone.
Yeah.
E for everyone. This one's been mild. There hasn't been any F-bombs.
Oh, yeah. That's
Oh.
been
Explicit.
I did
for
there you go.
everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so good. Ice fixed America today.
Good job, Jeff.
I love you guys.
We miss
Love
you, Trent.
Okay. And your bombs, your F-bombs. I had fun tonight. Love you guys. Call our things and do our things.
Voicemail.
Your Twitter account, for the record, it was well beyond rosy.
Yes, I'm sure.
Your Twitter account has several disparaging comments about women's looks. You once told a contestant of The Apprentice it would be a pretty picture to see the temperament of a man we should elect as president. You are part of the war on women.
Frankly, what I say, and oftentimes it's fun, it's kidding, we have a good time. What I say is what I say.
And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it,
I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me.